Please welcome on stage Evil Geniuses.
Well, EG has had some time to rest, but they are looking to knock out another team from a region that they have just gotten the better hand of. Now LGD is going to be able to take their seats as well. Hot off a victory to get here. Momentum may play on their side. Some of the key things that we've already talked about is EG. They've been drafting a pretty similar style throughout the entirety of the past few days. I think we saw a few things in their draft earlier on that we didn't quite like, but they have course corrected. LGD, on the other hand, although they were able to beat Fnatic, Fnatic did find some weaknesses in their game plan, and the question is whether or not EG is going to be able to do the same. But we're going to get into the draft and start to get some insight into what these guys are playing for. Lacoste, you were the one who was starting to say we really do need to see how they draft. See, are they going to go for the late game? Are they going to change it up here? There's no reason to be holding any secrets any longer. You need to move forward.
When you get the quarterfinals, semifinals, teams draft more late game oriented lineups with 2 cores that can scale, sometimes even 3, because you want to rely on the late game. If game goes late, you want to have that advantage.
I also think, though, we haven't seen today what we did see yesterday to a certain degree, and that was teams playing scared. We saw a lot of teams playing scared a little bit earlier on in the tournament, and that resulted in slower games, but also those picks that are insurance policies with sometimes a little bit too much of a cost, Nahas.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a thing in these tournaments, that especially in a tournament like this one where it's been very chalky, you get down to this stage of the tournament and most of the teams that are playing have been there before. And so you're not going to see those same kind of unforced drafting errors as we're gearing up here for the main event for tonight. I also like that EG has been mixing up the Sumail picks a little bit more. That 5th pick, Death Prophet, in the deciding game against Fnatic I feel like it's a pick that a lot of teams would have shied away from. But it's very easy to play around the Exorcism cooldown when you have that TB to do tower damage behind it, so you can use it for fights and still convert objectives. So I just like the adjustments that EG has been making series to series, and it just is going to depend on whether they can do the same thing for what LGD brings. Because you know what LGD is going to do.
Yeah, it definitely has been a case of them looking better in every single series that they do play, not just in the drafts. But will it be enough? Lacoste, it definitely hasn't been their strongest performance, but they have started to pick up steam.
Oh yeah, man, this is what the EG likes to do. I mean, they've done it so many times that it's not even funny anymore. Like, just getting better as tournament progresses.
What is the head-to-head between this team, too? How many times have we really seen them go head-to-head?
I think it's been a while. I should have that. I can get it for you if you give me a second.
Oh, no, take your time. Take your time. We're still waiting on that. What was it called? Matrix algebra or something?
Shut up.
I don't know.
Algebra, we're supposed to get a useless stat.
Some rap freestyle.
Wait for freestyle.
I know. I'm just not delivering today. Right?
One day left only.
So tomorrow we're gonna get.
So yeah, okay. The only I was wondering. I thought there might have been one more, but obviously EG 2-0'd them at KL, and it was LGD that won the last series that the 2 teams played at TI. So pretty darn even.
Now, up on the stage right now, too, we have an even matchup. Do you think that there is any advantage to the idea of either having that time to prepare versus coming off of a win on a main stage like this, Lacoste?
I would rather play when I just played a game, so you don't have to set up anything. You just sit down on your PC. You won 2 games in a row. You're feeling good. For me, it's always better. Yeah.
I think it depends a lot on the matchup. I think LGD is a team that I think I'd probably rather play with momentum, because it's not that they're easy to game plan for. They're hard to game plan for precisely because their strength is much more in execution than in this like huge draft curveball.
I mean, it's just me. I would rather sit down and play, let's say, 7, 8 games in a row without getting up and going to the bathroom and eating than making like short pauses.
Yeah, you want that momentum.
Yeah.
You want that momentum.
And you know, most players still do say that.
Yeah.
Right. The younger generation of players is more likely to want the breaks, but certainly when you talk to the older guys in the scene, and when I first started doing LANs, the players were like, "Look, I just want to play Dota."
Yeah, you want to have that kind of, you keep your hands hot as well to a certain degree. And I do think that there is something to what Lacoste was saying as well, like not having to make sure everything else, you don't have to worry about anything but the game when you sit down like that. It's a little thing that you don't think about with LANs, but making sure all of your peripherals are set up the way that they need to be, making sure you are basically at the computer in the way that it needs to be. Like, you look at the other side, like these guys are figuring everything out still, besides Arteezy. And the other team, they get to sit there. LGD gets to sit there and just talk about the game. Get relaxed, get warm, get ready.
They have their own booth. Like, you don't have to even leave the booth. You just be there, sit inside. It's really warm.
You do, because you have to walk on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
never mind.
Yeah,
Back to you, Nahaz.
No, but the peripherals thing is funny, right? You don't understand the importance of stuff like that until you coach a team and you're out like at 2 in the morning looking for a mouse bungee, which you didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But players are very specific about the peripherals that they want.
Yeah, you need a mouse bungee, you need a napkin, a tissue.
I did not even know that a mouse bungee was the thing. I thought they were sending me on like a snipe hunt, but no, it turns out.
I mean, it's the same with everybody though too. Like, right? Like, they might have that mouse pad that they really want to have there.
Sure.
You got to make sure it's set up. Same way that some people have like lucky socks or whatever.
Or don't change their underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotcha. Sure. I'm with you.
For sure. Yeah, we're starting to see some patterns here.
I want to know who gave Crit like the sub mouse pad that Crit's been using, because apparently he lost his mouse pad before that last series. Like
things like that matter, right?
But I want that sub mouse pad if I can play Earth Spirit like that.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe towards the end of the tournament, you try to grab that mouse pad for yourself. But we're going to be getting into the draft soon here. We will see really quickly the tournament statistics from these teams, both coming in around similar game length that matches what we've seen in the tournament.
All up and down the board. Stylistically, these two teams are just so similar. They have been, as you've mentioned a couple times now, Rich, like playing a little bit more late, a little bit more greedy. Those 2,300 GPM, that's right at the top of this tournament.
What's the average game time, Nahaz?
Average game time is right around 35 minutes.
Oh, so it's moved up a little bit.
It's ticked up a little bit because you had that 58-minute game, EG versus eHome, and then a couple other games on the longer side.
Now, when we talk about EG playing for that later side too, something that was really interesting, Lacoste, that you brought up is you think their decision-making is better in that later portion of the game. You think if they do get there, the decisions that they make, much cleaner. They're able to navigate through situations much better. Going against LGD, is this a team that they can outmaneuver in the later portions of the game when we see it being a team that is perfectly comfortable going into the later stages?
LGD is not the team that it's gonna allow them to make so many mistakes and not get punished. So EG needs to step up in that department for sure.
Inevitably they're going to punish them, but let's say they get through the early portions of the game. EG doesn't have to worry about that. Let's just talk about late game decision making.
Oh yeah, EG's been doing great in the late game. It's always been like that. But LGD's late game, we saw in the previous series, they did not have mega creeps, and they decided to dive the fountain. So not what you expect from a team like LGD for sure.
So we can definitely see, though, with both of these teams being comfortable in that area, one of EG's advantages throughout the entirety of the tournament that has allowed them to stay alive in the lower portion of the bracket may not come into their favor nearly as much.
See, I think one of the big things about playing against LGD and teams of a similar style is if you go back to what OG started doing at TI, and that was prioritizing early tower damage. Like, not even necessarily tower kills, but showing lanes that can chip away at that tower, can get that tower down to like 50 or 60% health pretty early on, because that way you make the rotations a little bit more predictable. Oh my God, you two.
That was a funny face. That was a funny face. I don't know what he was doing.
I'm glad we're off camera.
Oh my Lord.
That was, I don't know what that face was.
Oh, wait.
It was the
Look at
like
that.
a roar of a champion.
Fly and I wear the same glasses. I never noticed that before. Okay.
Well, those are actually the same exact glasses.
It's
a little weird.
Okay. That's crazy. Whatever.
All right. Well, you can see, too, that the players have been getting their headsets on now, which means we are starting to get close to the draft.
These are the same mustache that you have, Richard.
That's pretty similar. That's pretty similar. IO going to be the
TBOD first phase ban. Double core bans.
I said it before the game started.
Yeah,
I would be
did.
surprised if there's OD ban or even Medusa ban, but they decided to go with the TB. It's Ortiz is one of the best heroes, and maybe they don't think they have enough to deal with it.
I still feel like you want to ban Beastmaster though, against either one of these teams. I still feel like that hero, when I talked about that chip tower damage a second ago, that's a hero that does it for you as long as he has a reasonable lane, almost all by himself.
First game in 5 games that we are going to see EG not have the OD at their disposal, targeting that TB as well against Arteezy.
I really do wonder if they're going to take the Phoenix off the table in the second phase as well.
This leaves a lot of good heroes in the pool. We have Tusk, Lich is still there, Grimstroke,
Elder Titan,
ET, yeah.
I still think both of these teams will be looking hard at that Beastmaster pick, though. That's a hero that's been, first phase banned throughout the tournament, and
we've seen teams trying to figure out how to play against the Beastmaster. There were some counters in terms of Enchantress, not in this tournament, Chen, but I don't personally think it's that effective.
Well, Secret's showing a bit of Chen. Liquid tried to pick Chen against Secret, and that worked terribly. You would expect LGD to open with either of the Elder Titan or the Tusk. I would favor the Tusk as well, but
then you're kind of leaving EG if they want to go for it, like a Medusa Elder Titan opening, which is insanely good.
Yeah, the Tusk. I think that's the easy call there, and EG I think is much harder. Oh, Mag PA
All right.
open. Okay.
Straight away.
There we go.
Ooh. LGD are going to have a lot of reps against this strat, though.
We saw so many teams trying to open with this in the early phases of the tournament. Falls out of favor a little bit. We see it get banned quite a bit. One of the other things that we typically do see getting banned, though, is Centaur as well. That's going to be something that does make it through here.
Yeah, you've got the Centaur, Beastmaster, Elder Titan all still on the table here for LGD.
Depends on what kind of lanes they want to go for. Yeah, Centaur's in the pool. That's a lot of magic damage.
The Grimstroke, though, you have to insta-ban Doom now.
I feel like Doom and Grimstroke is the best combo now.
I mean, it certainly if you have PA on, well, I mean,
it feels
PA
better
can get
than
Doom,
Grimstroke Lich to me.
I agree. Especially with again what we've seen from Doom, just the way he's able to consistently get those utility items up even when he's being sacked.
We've been seeing that combo more and more as well. Mag PA, though, this is one of the nice things, too, with what we've seen from EG playing that one strategy, really prioritizing the OD. It just leaves this wide open.
I can't believe Elder Titan is still in the pool and it's not being picked.
By the way, EG, one of the teams that is probably most likely to stick with that Magnus at a core position. As for the original Magnus spammer, the son of Magnus.
A lot of Tusks in this game. Magnus, Tusk.
I like it. Right. But Tusk can't be a unicorn. He's got 2 of them.
He's not a unicorn.
He's a bicorn? No.
No. I'm not sure that's the word.
That's not a thing. Yeah, you definitely it's not a thing. Again, Timbersaw, we're banning out the... it is possible, not likely, that EG could do something really weird and go like PA and Terrorblade.
What animal is Tusk?
He's a walrus, right? Or he's like a...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's why he has a walrus punch. Makes a lot of sense.
You asked that, I was like, that has to be a trick question. Yeah.
TB is, though, banned out.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm done.
Back to you, Nahaz.
Again, I would expect LGD, even with the walrus punch already on board, I would expect LGD to pick some kind of BKB solution here.
Okay.
Just to, again, you have to deal with that Deso BKB timing of the PA where she can get those 2 items online at 25 minutes and just destroy. And maybe that's part of EG's solution. They know they need to be strong at that time in the game because that's how LGD wins.
All right, Dazzle, we forgot about that hero. And I wouldn't be surprised if EG just bans out to Doom straight away.
Boy, I will be a little surprised if they don't.
You're definitely.
They do have first pick in the third phase though, so they could shove Magnus back to 4 and block pick the Doom.
That is correct. They're taking a lot of time. Tidehunter though.
Oh, okay.
Centaur.
They decided they'd rather have the Centaur.
Noticed that very early on that it didn't get banned out, but now is Doom just the auto pick here for LGD?
Well, maybe not because EG, they don't have to pick it here because EG can't really pick it. Doesn't really fit into their lineup.
Okay.
So I think you could, if you're LGD, no harm in locking it down here, obviously, but you can leave it for 4th because it just doesn't fit with what EG.
Medusa is still in the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like EG
PA
has a counter. They played PL before. I'm surprised that we did not see more of a PL because the hero. I talked to some of the players and the analysts, not Unihas, but about PL. Why is he not picked? Like some of them don't have the answer.
A lot of people. I've had the same conversations. A lot of people haven't had the answer. And wow, LGD? Are you LGD is going to borrow a page from the secret playbook, and they see this beefy strat of EG, and they're going to try and take advantage of these extended fights with the Slark pick.
You can get out of every single spell on side of EG.
You know what that is? That's also pick Medusa, I dare you.
Yeah.
That is also, we see where you're going with that draft, EG. Do you want to pick Medusa and have that same matchup? I don't think that lane should be that favorable for Slark 1v1, but certainly seeing it maybe versus Sumail would settle that issue.
If someone told you that Slark is going to appear at quarterfinals, semifinals as his first appearance and doing good, doing different kind of an item build. Maybe in this game he needs to get the Silver Edge because the hero just loves to battle Shadow Blade against the PA to breaker. Also, he can break a Centaur.
And of course, just again for the newer fans, I should not be presuming that Slark would be mid. The obvious default would be the safe lane Slark. I feel obliged to clean that up. Because I know one of the nice things is I've gotten a lot of people on Twitter saying that they're watching this panel and they're actually pretty new to Dota.
Yeah, this is a good pick.
I like that a lot.
I like it. I was thinking about it. They need some kind of a spell that Slark can't get away from.
That continuously applied Static Storm to get rid of Slark's ability to Dark Pact off debuffs. It's the same theory of Disruptor against
the problem is if you don't have vision, you usually use Thunderstorm, Thunderstrike to get a vision of a target. But if he uses his Q right away and you don't have a ward, you're going to lose the vision on him.
You mentioned vision, though. That, by the way, is the other value of picking Slark. PSG, LGD have to be looking back at that game 1 in particular against Fnatic and saying we lost the vision game. One of the easiest ways to shore up your vision game is picking invis heroes. You go all the way back to the Manila Major. The biggest play for Liquid in that major was Matumum and Slark giving vision for a 5-man mind control Ravage.
Yeah, so potentially already seeing one of the weaknesses that, although, and this is important for a team that does want to go far in a tournament, they beat Fnatic. But there were still issues there. They see them, and they're trying to shore them up here in the draft already. Going deep into that reserve time, though, LGD now as they look for their 4th pick.
Are they really going to go away from the Doom? Absolutely they are.
So 2 good counters for a Dragonite out of the pool already. There's no Timbersaw, there's no OD, so they can get away with the Dragonite being a 4th pick. Usually it's saved as a 5th pick. But now they have 2 flex picks, Slark and Dragonite. Both can go either mid or safe lane.
5 seconds remaining.
You still, it's interesting to me too because you still don't have the dedicated BKB breaker, but I'm less worried about it now because you have Slark's ability to sort of just hop around in team fights, building up those essence shifts and effectively wait out the BKB. And you've got Dragon Knight who provides that instant blink initiation to mitigate the BKB carrier. So I think that is an elegant solution, and you're seeing EG don't expect anything fancy. They're going to go ahead and ban the offlane position.
I like, as a counter to a mag, I just like Enigma as a hero. Like, you're gathering around the RP positioning, and if Enigma has good positioning for himself, you just get on top of them, something that can get.
There has to be something that I'm not seeing, by the way, that there has to be some reason that LGD is not picking Doom that I'm not seeing.
Or they could go for, let's say, Underlord. They could use a hero that builds into these team fighting items.
It's a little bit passive, but it does give you that. Underlord, you talked earlier, Rich, about the insurance policy idea. Underlord's an insurance policy that I quite like because he relieves the pressure off of your lanes. He's a pretty good high ground defender. I still love the Doom here, but Underlord is just fine.
Great to see the draft go this way, though. I think already kind of seeing everything that we talked about when we were previewing this matchup get answered so quickly, even in the bans, seeing OD get banned out, and the fact that EG is just like, yeah, we did it. We just left Mag PA completely open.
And there's okay.
This is one of the first heroes that you were talking about, Nahas.
I cannot believe it made. I mean, double Roar versus double Doom, and the sustained pressure that this hero can bring on the EG side of the map. Yeah, this happens so often, right? You forget about a hero because we talked so much about him early.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, we talked about it so much early. If it was going to get through, it should have gotten through by this point. You almost think that it gets banned out, but there it is.
I actually, I had it in my head as banned out. Yeah. But by that point.
It happens, right?
Wow.
Oh, man. These lineups, though, absolutely insane. But let's start to talk about...
Sumail, go win the game. This is it, man. At this point, you're asking your young superstar player, what are you going to dumpster DK with?
Yeah, what do you want to play? That's the question.
What about a Monkey King?
All right, good call. That's a good laner against either Dragon Knight. Maybe not the best against. Well, it's good against Slark as well. Slark steals stats, but the Monkey King gets more with just trading hits.
This is a sick draft. This is an absolutely sick draft by both sides.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where is there any weakness in either of the lineups? Is there one thing where you look at these drafts and you say, okay, if I was going to make a strategy to try to beat this lineup with the tools that the other team has, this is how I would do it?
The big question is, can LGD hold down this Monkey King in lane? Because Sumail could just destroy this game. Absolutely destroy the game.
So you're looking for Sumail to take over. Does that mean that you're going to favor EG in this one?
Oh, I like LGD's draft so much.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going EG.
You're going to go EG. Lacoste, how about you?
I like LGD's draft a lot. There's so much sustain. These heroes are going to be beefy. I think the only problem they need to take care of is Monkey King.
All right, this series is going to be for top 3. We're ready to get it started. EG versus LGD starts now.
Yes, indeed, it does. Rich, and ladies and gentlemen, we've got a full house here today. EG versus LGD Fogged. It's a rematch of one of the previous matches that we saw at KL where EG was able to knock out LGD. How you feeling about this game, and how you feel about this draft?
They left Elder Titan in the pool. No, just kidding. That's not what I'm going to say.
I knew it.
Right, that's of course what I jumped to. We were both kind of saying it's like maybe on the Dragon Knight is one of the little things that I'm a little concerned about, but he's one of the ones that actually does get really farmed and does get really big, so definitely can work on him. I'm looking at EG's draft. I think the one concern for me is that they could get into a point where if LGD is able to actually get good lanes and just start running at them, I'm worried. And I think that's where the Monkey King comes into play, why they want to pick it, because he's like the tempo setter for their team to just be able to fight back. Because LGD, they group up with a DK with this Beastmaster and this Slark like running around. Panel mentioned a lot of the vision game. It could really catch EG off guard. Because Disruptor, this is a hero that does not like to play Dota when you're just being ran at. When you're just getting your building sieged by a 5-man unit or a 4-man unit, and a Slark is like hunting in the back lines, it can be really scary.
Totally. That is sort of the dream scenario for this LGD lineup of what they want to do. Completely control the vision, ensnare them in their base. We got a little turtle running around there on the ground, and some wonderful all chat as well, as there's please no Greevil Laster.
That courier is actually really hard to notice.
Isn't that nuts? Dude, this is the strat.
What the heck? Look at it. I mean, it's pretty damn cute.
Oh my God, it's adorable.
It's
It's a
really
long
cute.
neck from Land Before Time.
Aw, Littlefoot.
Well, sleigh bells are ringing, and this game is about to start. And at least as far as the laning stage starts out, is there anything that we really need to be concerned about? The panel was talking about getting a good matchup for Sumail mid. Is Monkey King versus DK that matchup?
It kind of goes both ways. Like, of course, you're going to get the Jingu stacks up, but DK has so much natural armor. We're going to see how this one plays out, because you also can play around your Breathe Fire, so you mitigate a lot of that damage. I've seen it go pretty even. It's just going to be a bit of a regen war between the two of them. Top lane, so we have Slark, who's traditionally kind of a weak laner, but they've got Tag Team and they've got Grimstroke to make it quite a bit stronger versus the side of EG's, which is not really the strongest. I mean, it's Disruptor and Magnus. I mean, if you can get a great skewer, then sure, but besides that, I do believe that LGD has a bit of a stronger one in that. They even have the Hawk scouting down bottom, so they know the lanes for sure. They see S4. They kind of expected it anyway, but they are telegraphed at these lanes.
Early on, we're going to be keeping our eyes very closely peeled onto this mid matchup. Sumail ends up having the creep wave on the low ground there, as well as a lot of damage now onto Ame. This Slark, not known for being one of the strongest heroes in the world, and they're trying to just create a little bit of space, able to dodge away from the skewer, and they're actually able to find the kill and a fight.
And he's alive.
And Ame's walking away from that one.
Oh my God.
Oh, chasing. They want to get this kill, and he's still hanging onto those stick charges, so Ame will live through all of that, and you can hear this crowd is going to be waiting on every last hit.
Yeah. I was talking about how the mid lane can be even for the most part. It's very volatile, though, because the problem is that if Sumail is always able to keep Jingu up his top again.
Oh my God, they find him there with the secondary hit on the Stroke of Fate, and now Fly also just taking punches. This is a lot of regen that's going to need to be traded out, and Xnova could have even think about going for that next Stroke of Fate. Doesn't look like it's going to connect, though. It's
just such a strong lane. They've got Grimstroke and Tusk. They've got Tag Team with a very good ranged hero that can give the right clicks, and Grimstroke is a pretty damn strong tri-laner, too. So mid lane, we see Sumail starting to pull ahead because he keeps getting these Jingus. So he has that just much more denies and last hits. And I mean, maybe he's actually just getting crushed. So I've seen this matchup be 50-50 a lot of times, but Sumail can be one of those that pulls away.
And you talk about those couple of kills there also, and it's down bottom where S4 is also dominating over the Beastmaster.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'm just staring at mid. This is level 3 versus level 1 almost. Maybe has now hit level 2, but oh my God, Sumail is absolutely going to take over that one.
Yeah, this is a pretty big problem for Maybe, who does, like you said, just hit level 2, but Sumail should continue to dominate this one. And you look at also how much Chalice has been able to get. He now is up to 5 last hits versus the 10 and 2 of S4. Could become a bit of a problem as Crit picks up a DD rune up there on the top side of the map, and S4 just trying to hunt that boar, keep it from punching him off on the side.
Yeah, Centaur's going to do really well in this matchup with Retaliate. Anytime Chalice hits him, you're just going to get hit back even harder as top. Again.
Nova, ooh, they don't quite connect with the shards, but it doesn't matter. They find the kill, and now Crit needing to back away. That DD rune made the difference.
Yep. Looked like he considered saving it for Sumail for like a quarter second, but I think Sumail told him, I'm owning this matchup. 11-10 last hits versus 5-1 of Maybe.
Oh, Chalice testing the patience of S4, who's just walking at him. Skills up, double edge, needs to get in range. Does he go on the creep, or does he try and dive underneath? They have the south, S4,
he gets
the double edge. Gets the kill.
Chalice even used the salve, like you were mentioning.
Oh, man. Tough stuff down there bottom. So they will lose the Centaur, but, well, you know, much, much better being able to find that kill first.
But yeah, the one thing is that Maybe can't get denies in the lane. So Sumail's at 12 denies. He's not going to be able to kill Maybe, but maybe with a rotation because of how well he started off. He's nearly level 5.
That's an incredibly scary Monkey King, and known for being a lane dominator. As we go back up towards the top side, we see that Arteezy is going to start to have a little bit of a better time in that, 10-4. As Sumail again just goes underneath the tower and forcing back Maybe at every moment. And this is, again, you know, we talked about maybe being a little bit concerned that Maybe is not playing on the flashiest of heroes. DK's not necessarily known for being able to come back into the game in the same way some of these other mid laners have been.
No, at least they can group up and rally around him, though. But again, Sumail, he uses the Jingu with the Boundless, gets it again immediately onto Maybe. It's just, he's putting so much pressure. It's level 5 versus level 3.
They have left Maybe on an island.
Yeah. I've seen this matchup happen so many times, and I've seen DKs come out even, but yeah, Sumail is just put on a good display here in the mid lane.
S4 taking a lot of punches by virtue of Chalice. Needs to be careful. That boar is chasing him. Still hanging on to the salve, though. So it looks like he's going to be able to pop that and heal back up. We saw out of the corner of our eyes as well on the side camera that there is an ancient stack that's being built up right now, 3 tall with the Disruptor Illusion rune that spawned by Fly. So he's doing a good job of keeping that stack being built up for the later Magnus PA.
Yep. Even Sumail could farm it too, but I might want to just save it for RTZ because he can use the blur strategy, right? You pop blur with that Empower and you can get that farm up really early, not having to worry about the Ancients hitting you. So 2 lanes going very successful for EG. The top one, I guess, is a little bit more in favor of LGD as Ame is pulling a bit ahead.
Well, S4 just going to stick around this area, wants to secure the bottom bounty runes if possible. It looks like Chalice is going to get the one on the Radiant side of the map. And then on the other side, it looks like a trade-off of 1 for 1 as well. So 2 apiece.
Sumail stunned under tower.
Mid lane, they don't have the Jenga stacks up. Needs to be a little bit careful with the rotation coming in. The Tusk God, Tusk King, call him what you will. The result's the same.
That's how you fix your mid lane a little bit. There's a quick rotation when Sumail gets over aggressive because it's Sumail. He's going to play as aggressive as possible, and you know that just from the way that he is as a player.
Oh, and up top, TZ. Oh, good dodge away with the Blink Strike. Able to escape from the Inkswell. Is still going to be punched a little bit here on his backside as he heads back towards the safety of his tower. And, oh, they're actually fully committing for this one. RTZ is going to get the Blink Strike away to the creep wave, though.
That was very nice. If he gets caught by the Inkswell, he's absolutely dead. So they tried to make the opportunistic move on LGD when they see that the Sioux supports are not there. They try to put the pressure on, but oh my goodness. You were talking about stacks, and there are so many stacks on the side of EG.
Stampede chase forward. RTZ wants some blood. And Chalice is in his sights, although they have vision underneath all of them as well, and they're able to turn this one onto RTZ, who eats the deck, and now also chasing forward for S4. They have the boar hitting them, the slowdown. There's no way to juke away into these trees because the Beastmaster summoned the Hawk earlier, and with the chase down, with a second boar summon, can they get in there in time? The Skewer interrupting, able to find that hoof stomp. They're diving underneath the tower right now.
Oh my
LGD,
God.
the shards, Crit trying to live through all of this. He is going to snowball over to the creep wave, but they kill off Crit.
The power of Tusk in the hands of an expert. Able to put so much pressure. He has 1,200 gold on Tusk now after these rotations with boots on top. Sumail will be able to find himself a kill with that DD.
This game has just been a back and forth brawl so far. And at least for now, relatively even in terms of net worth. The Roar is going to be used down bottom. They have the tag team moving as well, trying to bait out the hoof stomp. They will find it. S4, can he make anything happen?
Ooh.
The double edge almost gets the kill, but FY lives again.
He has a full urn coming out on the courier there. Doesn't have it before the kill, of course, but level 5 Tusk at the 7-minute mark. FY 3-0-3, salvaging the lanes for his team, as expected.
I think we all saw True Sight and saw how much of a playmaker this guy can be. And showing it yet again, 3-0-3, has the full urn completed, 7.5 minutes in.
Now we'll see the beginning of the farm from EG. As they're farming 1 triple stack, they have a secondary triple stack, and they have another, I think, 3 or 4 stack on the Ancient. So just really prioritizing that, and this is where I feel like LGD could try to take advantage. When they have DK ulti, they can start to pressure these towers, rotate in. That's exactly what they're going to do in the mid lane. They're smoked, they're ready to try to put this pressure on the mid tower. As nobody's showing, they know Sumail's kind of making moves around, so they're trying to punish if any of the supports or anybody else is trying to get experience here.
Just hitting around that mid lane right now, waiting for anybody to show up in the lane. Fly is there as well. They're going to send the boar forward for the Disruptor. Looks like with the Stroke of Fate chasing forward, they still have Stampede. They're going to be able to throw down that kinetic field, and FY, has he gone too far? S4 wanting to chase this, and with RTZ moving into position, they have the hoof stomp, trying to kill off this Tusk. He's so tanky though, and the Inkswell able to actually turn this one back around onto S4. Do LGD really want to go further forward for this? He's still under control. He has the tag team, and now there's going to be the Dragon Tail, the walk away snowball
on the
off
creep
to the side. He's going to be able to get up towards the mid lane yet again. There's a good amount of damage coming from the Thunder Strike, and he can't quite get the shards.
He tried.
Will be punished. Stampede now, chasing for more. All of EG is here pretty much as they chase and try and find the kill. The buyback coming from the Tusk. The Brawl is going to continue the Dark Pack in onto everybody. They bring down maybe, and now trying to find themselves a little bit more here. If they can take down Ame, it'd be so great for them. As Chalice takes down Crit over to the north as well. Ame turning, trying to find this kill onto Sumail under the cover of the Shadow Dance, trying to go into the Mischief. Isn't going to be able to get the life steal off, and Arteezy has also dived in now. EG have lost 3, and LGD want to find more. Fly, can they kill him off as well? Chase under the tower. Arteezy's back into it. This battle's been going on for a minute and a half, and they might kill off Ame. Great play as X-Nova also under fire. This is the 3rd time that FY has been in there with the freaking snowball. They chase forward with the team as well. Arteezy is down. S4's back into the brawl. What in God's name is happening mid?
That was a great sequence of it. FY, when he TP'd back in, he didn't have the snowball back up because he just had died using it. Gets glimpsed back to base, comes back. Crazy amount of aggression coming out. This is what we wanted.
Absolutely.
Just straight battling.
It is just about the 10-minute mark, and we've had 19 kills.
Yeah. And this is the one thing that we were saying is that LGD wants to do. They want to be running at EG. They want to put them on the defensive when they're playing with this Disruptor. Fly is only level 4, and this Disruptor, we didn't get to talk about it too much because of all the other things that were going on, but he can have a great game versus Slark if he can get an early level 6 as Chalice.
Oh, walking away, the slowdown coming from the boar, and that keeps him alive, although Sumail Boundless Strike just barely off the mark. They throw out the Phantom's Embrace. EG is here, and it looks like they won't be able to find a kill.
They really need to try to find level 6 onto Fly. As soon as he has that, this Slark's game becomes way more difficult. You just throw the ulti on top of him, and it just puts a ton of pressure on him. And we see Ame, he knows what he wants to do this game. He wants to be a late game monster. Went for the Midas on top of that Treads at a pretty damn early time as well.
Wants to be as big and tall as possible. And, well, it does look like LGD is set up again in this mid lane with the DD on maybe.
LGD recognizes that they're like, oh my god, you know, there's a PA and a Monkey King on the enemy team. They have incredible scaling, but it's not like LGD can't scale either. If they itemize properly, their scaling can get there into the later stages because they have such good vision advantage in this game.
Yeah, that so often is the big deciding factor, is just who you see when you see them.
Yeah.
And right now, they're seeing a free and easy kill on the Fly. How Walrus Punch hurts.
It's the pressure, just keep running at this Disruptor.
And maybe it can just be this big indomitable force in the middle.
Double roar!
The roar on the boat! They have the Dragon Tail for the follow-up as well. There's the RP, though, to try and turn it. They've already taken down this Monkey King. Where's the damage that's left over for EG? They're trying to get it with that Empowered Chalice. Will finally hit the deck. Now can they kill off? Maybe. He's so big and tanky, and FY snowball forward. He's been a little bit separated from the rest of his team now, but S4 moving into position, trying to find that hoof stomp, the double edge, to kill off this big, bad Dragon Knight. They take down the tower, but they're going to lose 2 in return, and now the Glimpse pulls back in the Tusk, who also will fall to S4.
Dove a little bit farther on the side of LGD. EG will be able to punish it this time, and Arteezy with some much needed kills, because he's just been dying a lot. He's 3, 3, and 4 on this PI. He's not getting the free game like this Slark. Ame didn't even try to show up to the fight. He's just like, I have Treads Midas. I'm going to farm. I am not joining you guys all the way behind the tier 2. I will take bottom tower. And we were mentioning the pressure that can come out from LGD's draft. They continue doing so, and just look at the tower advantage right now. They have taken out 4 already, and EG has only really knocked on that top tower.
EG now looking to try and maybe secure that one for themselves. It has definitely felt like it's just been all about, you know, when Arteezy gets the time to farm, he farms. And then they match the aggression by showing up in numbers.
Slark is going to be an issue, though. Going to go for that Blink Dagger, so then when he has that, he's not, I mean, we've seen this build like rising more than the Shadow Blade. This game could be, he could try to go for it maybe, the Shadow Blade anyway for that Silver Edge build up, but he's prioritizing the Blink so he can get involved and just get those quick pounces to grab him down. And now we're going to see that blur that we were talking about, Arteezy farming Ancients.
S4 looks like he is going to be the next one brought down. They actually used the Roar on as well in mid lane. Sumail going for the Mischief, able to dodge away from the stun. Nicely played there as well. And the Boundless Strike bringing down this Dragon Knight. He's very tanky, but is he tanky enough? Is the Skewer pulling him back in closer to that mid lane? X-Nova will be able to get the walk away, but as they build back up the Jingu stacks, eventually maybe falls. A very different role than we've seen him play on throughout most of this tournament.
They cut that net worth down a huge margin because Arteezy also farmed a huge Ancient stack during that. So it was a 4K advantage, and now it's swung all the way only to 2K, and the experience is just fluctuating all over the place because of these dives. So now they do have Disruptor level 6, but they are under so much vision. We look at LGD's wards on the map, and that's how they want to be playing. They want to play the vision game. They want to keep running at them and putting the pressure on. Now they have the blink on the Slark, so now Ame can join the fray.
And I think that, you know, part of the reason for this is how much longer those observer wards have been, or rather sentry wards have been sticking around, the extra 3 minutes on him. But it's also going to show that in this big tanky meta, when fights are lasting so long, the panel talks about it, a lot of people have talked about it, Slark becomes a monster.
He really does. And they're looking to make plays. They've got Armlet finished up. They've got some pretty big, not huge item times, but some item timings that allow them to keep fighting. And that's what they want to do versus this EG draft. Don't let them back up and just farm with Empower. Have to keep the pace up on the side of LGD.
And we have seen a couple of times maybe go down on this Dragon Knight, but it's largely been when the rest of his team has had to abandon him.
Yep.
If he's in the middle of a fight and there's other people to provide some cover, it feels very difficult to kill off that Dragon Knight. So they want to make something happen.
They've got Blink on crit at a pretty damn early time again. So Magnus already has Blink, and I believe S4 is about to have Blink Dagger too. So EG, it's not like they can't make aggressive moves either. They can actually start to make those when they have Centaur Blink Dagger, because then it can give the opportunities for crit to get good RPs, and it can let Fly get those glimpses.
LGD, they've been playing around this side of the map here. It does look like it's going to be the majority of these bounty runes going the way of LGD, as Ame picks up 2 in the bottom.
They've got the Blinks. They're looking to make a move. They can try to go for a tower here too. They were able to kill top earlier. Now they could turn this one into another objective if they can get a big kill out of it.
They know he's there though.
Yep.
And the Hawk already placed down within vision.
LGD wants to fight.
They're bringing in Ame as well. The pings come. They know that this Slark is moving into position, but so too does Slark, having his ultimate get removed off of him.
Yeah, he's pinging it. He knows that there's a... He's actually thinking it's on the bottom side more. They might miss the D-ward here. They've got 2 sentries. Let's see if X-Nova finds it. Does he put it in between?
Might. But nonetheless, also towards the mid lane.
He's not too sure where it is. Yeah, he's not going to find it. He's going to go check again. Ame's now going to go back over and try to give him more information.
In the meantime, the rest of LGD is kind of invading the jungle here with Chalice leading the charge.
They're trying to get all these D-wards, keep their pressure going. They did use DK ult though, so now that's going to be going down soon.
EG do still have a lot of vision out around the map. Maybe anticipating that this movement is coming in since they saw the D-ward, and FY is...
Have they seen FY's blink? That's one thing that can really turn fights. Even if EG does get some like huge initiation, now the counter initiation is there for LGD.
They see the disruptor, and now they realize the blink's there.
He just kills him in 2. Tag team plus Walrus Punch. We'll play with this life though.
I mean, he did what he wanted to do.
He did what he wanted to, but I mean, I think EG's all right with that.
Yeah, totally. So a 3,000 gold lead.
Now they're going to turn it into a tower. S4 just walks up. Arteezy will be going for the Rush BKB build. We've seen majority of the times PA Magnus, it's been the Desolator first. He really wants to make sure that he can actually have his freedom of being able to do the mobility in the fights, the Phantom Strike in particular. If he gets pounced, he's in a lot of trouble, unless he actually has this first. Then he can't get pounced and he can actually freely jump around the fights.
No. He is sort of scouting up there towards the north side of the map as well. Chalice is over in the creep wave, pushing it out slowly. Does have Roar available, and with the mag nearby, Chalice needs to be careful.
The blur.
Now
He knows.
They have the Hawk over. Crit spots him. They find the catch there, and the Skewer, Stampede, everything used. Chalice over in the trees, eventually brought down. Roar, walk away.
He's trying to just buy as much time. He sees that his team is pushing bottom lane. Will die eventually, but Slark got a lot of farm bottom out of that, and his team is also kind of farming a bit. EG making good aggressive moves.
It does look like Slark is thinking about going back for the Shadow Blade after the Echo Saber. Stun there, as well as a Static Storm down. Maybe not able to get off his ultimate, but Ame is here as well. Has already found and killed off Fly. Now, can they bring down this Dragon Knight in time? The good shards, and now the Armlet Toggle walk away.
Wow.
Maybe. What a player. Oh, Hoof Stomp. S4 trying to interrupt. Snowball save coming from FY. Just a little, hey, how you doing? And now Ame shows up as well, and this Centaur in some trouble. They jump in with the Monkey King as well. So we begin to go into the Shadow Dance. Sumail still hanging on to all of this. Arteezy has the vision there on top of him. A good shards yet again. Boundless Strike. Dark packed it off. And that spells the end of the aggression.
I'm just glad we have both teams. They're not like, don't take the fight, don't take. They're like, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. We have 31 kills in 18 minutes, Gabe. This is a
dream game.
Ame has to be careful.
Bold as brass. He will be able to get out of that one yet again. It's a DD rune. What do they want to do with this? Oh, LGD, they pop the Dragon form. I don't know if you want to fight into DDPA. In the middle of it also with the Boundless Strike. The Walrus Punch, but this PA is so hard to handle, and now the Glimpse pulls back in that Dragon Knight. No way to escape as they've got him controlled and maybe going to fall.
Straight to Roche. That is absolutely massive for EG. How thankful they find themselves a DD to be able to just rush into the fight. And that was maybe, he popped DK form. He went to go, I think he went to try to cut the tree of the Monkey King, gets caught, and EG with the BKB and the DD, way stronger than LGD there.
A fortuitous rune and an overextension coming from LGD. And now, after a troubling early game, Arteezy has definitely caught up, sitting just about top of the net worth after they take down this Roche.
As Kyle would say, exponential growth for the PA's net farm. I'm sure JJ loves that as well. Ame has to be careful.
Stampede, they pull him back in with the Shockwave, but Roche has already fallen. They have the Static Storm down. This Slark in trouble. They're going to skewer him up to the high ground, actually. Oh. That keeps Ame alive. Crit, is this going to be enough? He's trying to escape, but the pounce gets interrupted. A long duration. There before things get a little bit.
Ooh, so close.
20 minutes. This one has not slowed down a bit.
No, but Maybe's farm has slowed down quite a lot on that Dragon Knight. We'll have the Shadow Blade soon finished up too, so he will be the one that builds that Silver Edge. Like you mentioned, also the Slark is building for Shadow Blade too, so mobility and just trying to play around their vision to try to take advantage versus EG, but EG has really closed that gap and shifted that experience advantage into their favor in these last few moments, and with, like you said, fortuitous rune.
And we have BKBs now that are coming out as well. Looks like Monkey Kings is going to be being flown out on the courier in just a second. PA's already got hers. We're still a little ways away from a Crimson Guard, but if you're LGD now, you kind of feel like the pressure's starting to build a little bit more. How do you deal with this sort of Aegis now on the PA? Do you just need to like keep kiting? It feels like it's hard to fight into this right now.
They have to play around their vision. That's like Panel mentioned it, like we were talking about a bunch. They have to be able to catch when people are split up. And they should be able to in theory when they have the Hawk down, when they see EG kind of splitting up. Like right now, they have a Hawk down, they see Disruptor in the jungle, they saw Centaur bottom, and now they're going to be able to see the PA top too. So they know that they're split up, so they're hunting. So it's just hunt when they're split up until that Aegis is gone. And then they still can look to take fights because it's not like these BKBs are the end-all be-all on the side of EG. They still have Grimstroke and Beastmaster. They can still double roar people constantly and lock them down through those BKBs. Still quite good. I mean, BKBs are always going to be very useful to at least block like the Dragon Tail, block a bit of that nuke damage that comes from Tusk and Dragon Knight.
Yeah, but I agree. It sort of feels like that's that LGD lineup that can't really stop fighting just because the BKBs are there. You need to keep the pressure on for sure. Looks like the blur is going to end. Crit still playing Hangout with Arteezy mode right now. Throwing on that Empower whenever they get a chance to.
The one crazy thing is that LGD's two supports, they have GPM talents. So we're going to see the supports on the LGD getting quite a bit of farm just from those level 10 talents, those 90 GPMs. When you look at EG's, their two supports don't really have that. So they're going to start getting a bit under-farmed.
Stampede use as S4 wants to get away from FY, and looks like they're going to be able to escape.
EG wants to fight with numbers. They don't want to fight with a number disadvantage versus the side of LGD, which LGD wants to fight with a number advantage over EG right now.
Maybe is not here. He is up in the north side of the jungle. And PA will catch sight of Chalice there, the boar. Okay, that could have been close with some axes being thrown.
EG's grouping up. They're building... Is that like a pretty much full MKB here? It looks like a pretty much full MKB coming up for Arteezy.
Oh, wow.
Soon. Very soon. Quarterstaff is all he needs for it.
This is something I was talking to a few people about when the change happened to PA. Now that it's just flat bonus attack speed, those proccing items feel like they're quite strong. Not to mention the fact that you're going to be going eventually into evasion.
Yeah.
So bottom lane, S4 clears out the creep wave.
Yep, adjusting their lanes. This is where they can start to get picked off here from LGD if they're in the right occasions, in the right situations. And I mean, FY and Ame, they are looking to catch people who are split off. They have the Shadow Blade on Ame, so he feels a lot safer to now kind of walk in and look for these pickoffs in the back lines onto that Disruptor in particular. But EG sitting around in the area with at least 4 of their heroes. They're just having RTZ alone up there, as they're going to smoke out. They want to use this last minute of the Aegis to take some type of fight here versus LGD.
I don't know if that one was quite scouted out, as it was next to a ward.
It looked like it was not. It looked like it was just outside of it, but it looks like the way LGD is actually moving, they might have actually seen it. I didn't actually have fog switched, so I didn't get to see in time.
But the wraparound coming now. Seeing if they could find somebody. FY being the bodyguard, and S4 is going to break his smoke onto FY. Chase, glimpse, got him caught.
Ooh, that play with the shards and snowball.
Oh my God, what a player. FY, but it might not be enough regardless.
That was still like it was so quick the way he made the decision. He sharded to get vision of the neutrals, and then he snowballed it. But yeah, we'll die. That's the beauty of the Disruptor.
Immediate smoke out again afterwards. EG want to keep this fight going. They feel incredibly strong right now with only about a minute left on this Aegis. Actually, less than that. It's about to expire in a second, but they will still kill off X-Nova. So Aegis expires.
They see Sumail. They have the Hawk before he even went. Uh-oh, Sumail.
Danger, danger. And BKB is going to turn it back around. Doesn't get the Wukong's command off. That bonus armor not going to come. And it is going to be a kill there. Onto the Monkey King.
Oh, Chalice, though, walking into the all 3 of EG heroes.
Wrong place, buddy. Chalice also fall here. And FY still in the area. They have the kinetic field down, chasing forward, wanting to find it. Ame in the Shadow Dance. Not able to get off any ulti there as they're going to snowball over to the creeps. Still thinking about chasing this one. They just blow him up. RTZ, take it easy.
Yep, just PA, you know, just some little bit of damage, just 1,200 crits, you know.
Oh, can't quite get it.
Terrifying.
This PA really has taken over the game.
Yeah, but it's still an incredibly close game, 20-21, and the net worth has literally just been ping-ponging back and forth between the two teams. It's just slightly moving up and down. That's because of the Midas. That's because of the way that they're splitting up the map and playing around their vision. Ame's just been parked down here for the last, 10, 12, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah. And I mean, this was happening so early on. EG just abandoned the lane and then head down there.
And big timings can happen for LGD, in particular is that BKB on the Slark. Sure, the BKB piercing on the side of EG, but the biggest thing that you're concerned about as a Slark is Disruptor.
Yeah. He has been that thorn in his side throughout this game.
Yep.
We have already seen, though, one of the snowball saves could come out later from FY. Significantly harder to do when you're trying to save somebody else.
Yeah. So BKB's finished on Slark. They've got Silver Edge on DK. LGD could look to take a fight here.
Big opening.
They're all in the area, too. And this is a Silver Edge. There's a Sentry Ward down.
They want to get him. They spot out that Dragon Knight and immediately going to walk away. Yeah, that's a scary sight.
That's the reveal. They saw him building the Shadow Blade anyway, so they had to assume it was going to be a Silver Edge. But now they know for sure. As it is the Basher also picked up on RTZ, so he's got a hell of a lot of damage and control now coming between just him, too.
Immediate smoke coming. Was broken. Ame was not revealed because he was in a Shadow Blade still. But LGD now down on the low ground. EG kind of in an awkward position here. The Hawk is going to spot them moving over, and if LGD want to, they could potentially catch them as they're a little bit separated up here on the high ground. The first one to reveal is going to be Sumail. They're moving forward for it, but they have that Sentry Ward down, and he just gets out of there. The preemptive tip.
Yeah, that was... Maybe it was because he was like moving up and he clicked on it. Like, I don't know. That was a very fast tip there by him, maybe. But he will back up. And that's as soon as the DK form starts to end, they don't want to try to take a fight. So when DK form is used, you've seen they're really trying to hunt and catch somebody there. But as soon as it's over, no longer.
Level 20 talent for RTZ gets the triple Stifling Dagger.
Oh, lovely.
And it does look like it's going to be a relatively longer Roche respawn time. About 2 minutes now till it's back up again. Ame finds S4. The hoof stomp in the midst of the pounce, and then the walk away from it. The triple daggers get thrown out. Chalice playing around a little bit here with RTZ, who's found that bash, but the Walrus punch, and now the roar, and now the snowball. The Static Storm, it's not looking like it's going to do quite as much as they would have wanted, but the close mid, actually, no, it catches maybe. He tried to push him out with the shards, but couldn't connect on it, and now EG has taken over this fight. They do not have their Dragon Knight. Chase forward, find Chalice, get the kills. EG dominant.
They have to be careful to fight in these like perimeter plays that EG has. When they have the Monkey King ulti down, when they have the Disruptor ulti down, it can be really hard to take fights because this Diffusal Blade is very annoying. Like anybody who walks into it, they don't really have too many BKBs on the side. They only have one on the side of LGD. They just all lose their mana, and to the high ground EG goes just off of that. Quick sequence of events.
They don't have buyback on the Dragon Knight. Still 20 seconds until he's back up. They do have buyback on Chalice if they want to try and take the fight afterwards, but it's looking like right now it's at least going to be a lane of racks. EG
just
making
like
it happen.
That.
Oh, and they spot out Ame.
Oh, the double crit!
Oh, forward! Arteezy!
It was just one crit, but 1,461 damage.
OS Frog, please, and that's no buyback for Ame. He's 500 gold away. I mean, can they stay for more here?
They look a little scared to go for the second end racks because other people are respawning. They're gonna. I mean, you take those.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that happened. PA.
PA things.
Yeah, Slark only 12 armor, right? You get hit by that, it's yeah, it's a decent amount of damage there.
I guess they're a little bit worried about with the Beastmaster back up and having Shadow Blades and all those things as well. It could turn dicey pretty quickly, but nonetheless. 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
30 minutes into this one.
Yeah, the thing is that they don't know that the Slark doesn't have buyback.
Right,
So
exactly.
Yeah, if you just go too hard, buybacks come in and really risk a great position that you're in now on the side of EG. As Arteezy 10-3-11 in this game. Had a bit of a rough start, right? He was 3-3 or 2-3 or maybe even 1-3 at one point in this game, and then he's just exploded with the farm that his team was able to guarantee him.
So what you're telling me is that Magnus is a good hero.
Magnus is good, and also the way EG prioritized. They had 2 quad stacks and a triple stack by like the 8-minute mark in that triangle area. The support's really focused on that on the side of EG. So
that illusion rune that Disruptor picked up, he just went into the jungle and Fly kept stacking those camps. So solid. But 30 minutes into it now, and EG positioning themselves for Roche.
Now they're just so strong. They have a full Satanic on the PA as well.
They did finish off a Heaven's Halberd for the Tusk with the Blink Dagger and that Urn there on top of them. And LGD wanting to move into position. They blow up Fly right from the get-go. Can they find any more of the Roar to interrupt and try and save? But the RP to follow. Can they kill off LGD in time? They're dropping so quickly. Chalice is gone, and now they just want to run cleanup duty. The kinetic field keeping FY under control. He is gone. Maybe is the last one left, and he too will fall.
Yeah, it's EG. They call it.
Oh my lord. EG came to play in a big way, and they do it in game number 1.
They didn't even go for, he actually didn't even go for BKB on the Slark because of getting all those little items. So he just got Disruptor ult in that fight and controlled, and that accelerated very quickly. It looked like LGD were able to take some fights, and they kind of were even things out. An explosion of farm from the PA just takes over.
Well, an impressive showing indeed, an LGD needing to find some answers here. Elimination match. They don't want EG to knock them out again, particularly in front of their home crowd.
Yeah. You know, we even mentioned it. We were like, maybe on a Dragon Knight, he does play the hero incredibly well, but we want to see him playing something explosive when he's playing versus a team like EG.
He just played Quap last time, and he looked amazing on it. He made Quap work.
He did make Quap work.
Who else could say that? That's a maybe thing. But nonetheless, it is going to be Evil Geniuses taking that first game. I think that, to me, there wasn't like a huge standout. Arteezy obviously had probably the best game out of all of them.
Yeah.
But it felt very much like a cohesive team effort.
I mean, Arteezy was probably MVP or Empower. Maybe Empower is just MVP. Just that little ability there. Also, I mean, Sumail, I said that this matchup is 50-50. I could be wrong about that one. I've talked to a bunch of players about it, but he did incredibly well. And he did slow down maybe so much that they were able to just keep the pressure on and keep their cool even when LGD was putting the pressure on them.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head to a quick little break. Stick around. More action to come here as we finish off the last series of the day.
Flipped it on the beat. Panty droppers, lady.
Hey, miss na kita, baby, hindi ko na kaya. Sobrang saya ko na, muli tayong magsasama. Pangako na, di ka na maghihintay. At hindi ka na malulungkot, malapit ako, baby, pauwi na ako. Ako'y pauwi na, baby, pauwi na ako. Miss na kita, baby, pauwi na ako. upang mabawi ang kalungkutan kaysa na
A bit on side of EG. But that's what happens. He didn't crit before, that's why it happened after. That's how math works, right?
And by the way,
That's correct.
Please,
That's
no.
100% correct.
Actually, there is a thing called a pseudo-random distribution in Dota World
yeah,
that
that's
does
the word.
happen.
Yeah,
but,
that's the word I was looking
That's
for.
literally what he said. He said he was trying to say pseudo-random distribution.
It got lost in translation.
I'm absolutely confident that he was.
Yeah, it's tricky to get it out quickly when you're trying to analyze on the fly, but Lacoste, it was very insightful of you to bring up pseudo-random distribution, but now I think we should turn our attention to game number 2.
Nahaz has one more thing to say.
No. It's like, yeah, I think we should talk about, no, we're not. Nahaz, what are we talking about?
The other kind of RNG thing that went in their favor was the DD rune on PA.
Oh,
in that Roche fight that they got right before the fight set up mid, and then they were able to take it in half duration still remaining to the Roche pit.
The amount of damage coming out from Arteezy in this game is insane, and his kill participation,
26 out of 28.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that the Empower option, not only does it accelerate your farm, frees up your item choices, it allows you to be so much more active around the map to farm that early Ancient stack. You don't have to sit in lane getting that Battle Fury.
Yeah, and him getting an MKB as well. High armor on a Dragon Knight. Slark also has a decent amount of armor. Beastmaster with Vlad's, so it's a magical damage. He does not care about the armor.
I'm starting to think about game 2 already. I'm starting to think about what the next draft is going to look like because EG just seems to be in such a good spot. If you remember in the first draft, basically you see LGD in a position where it's like, yeah, we watched your tape. Of course, we're not going to let you have the OD.
Tell me a hero you would love to see in the next draft.
For what reason?
Building Meteor Hammer.
I mean...
Just say it. You can't go wrong with it.
No, my favorite character is Disruptor. I like to see Disruptor every game. But I wasn't going to talk about Meteor Hammer. I was going to talk about something else, but it's fine. We're not going to talk about it. All right. With LG, but one of the things that we notice in the draft is LGD.
Yeah, I mean, don't you feel like an ass right now?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, he knows Lacoste.
He knows me.
Yeah, I know him.
Sure,
I know him. That's how I knew that you were talking about pseudo-random distribution. But one of the things
that... back.
I got you.
I'm never going to hear the end of that, am I?
No, we're going to be talking about it on the entire bus ride back. We'll be like, so with the pseudo-random distribution, LGD, they are paying attention to everything with EG. They ban out the heroes that we saw OD 5 games in a row. Instantly that gets banned out. That leaves the opening, and EG said, finally, somebody actually banned it out. This allows us to get Mag PA.
Oh, yeah.
It seems very, very scripted by EG and very intelligent. What do you think they have in store for us in this next game?
I think if you're LGD that you either ban out Mag PA or you just go back to the standard bans, right? I mean, EG has shown that they can pick something a little bit new, although we're not going to call Mag PA new. Disruptor maybe a little bit, and that they can execute. I think you want to play straight up.
Just play straight up.
Maybe
go back to traditional bans.
And I think the other thing is we talked about it. We never get enough chance to talk about 5th picks at the end of the draft, but that Monkey King pick was just so insane by EG. Once you tip your hand in terms of having all those melee cores as LGD, Monkey King, there's just no way that you can dodge that lane matchup. Somebody's going to get sacked, and unfortunately in that game it means that you're sacking your best playmaker, maybe, obviously FY and firmly in contention for that title as well, against their best playmaker, Sumail. And that's just, it's a very difficult blueprint. Yes, you did convert the kills that you needed to limit Sumail's progression, but it's still something that has to be addressed.
EG has an upper hand because it's a blueprint.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll also say, ripping away that mag, nice and easy. Yeah. Get rid of that Empower. You're going to have to spend your 4K gold. We see some standard stuff coming out on the side of EG as well. This time Lich going to be taken out of here first.
Now are you going to give crit as Earth Spirit?
Okay. Yeah, that Earth Spirit. Also, do we see maybe Earth Spirit and OD?
Sure. If that's the way. I think
you can't pick both when you have a first pick, but
but that's the strength of it, right? Is I like things like Medusa and OD. I like very much better as 4th overall picks as opposed to 2nd or 3rd.
Look at this guy. I was sitting in Players Lounge eating, watching the game. He was there pretty much alone with their manager, and he was screaming out of his lungs whenever
and then the LGD crowd.
And there was like group of LGD people, 6, 7, that were trying to outnumber him, but Bulba,
there you go. There's your
Bulba was there. He was keeping up.
watching Bulba watch EG play is one of the best things about being live at a
it
tournament.
actually is.
Tusk again.
Yep.
Tusk God.
Yeah,
Gonna have another
this is
show.
not-
That's a little
this is not
scary.
tough. This time I don't. Okay.
How do you let him get the Tusk again?
Well, they beat him once. What?
All right,
Wow,
all right.
instant TB. I mean, instant TB into...
Oh man, that.
Wow.
I am not
Yeah.
sure about that.
OD already gone, so
Well,
they're using the Timbersaw pick.
This specific combo has made me question, with a Tusk on the board, like counters in Dota are almost never like A beats B, right? That Monkey King counter doesn't work against Dragon Knight except for the fact that they had all other melee cores, so they can't dodge the lane, right? This is a question of, yes, Timbersaw plays great against Terrorblade, but once that tag team is on board, if that Tusk is standing next to you, all of a sudden you're getting that bonus damage from TB and his illusions. And that's crazy, man.
There's that OD ban. I didn't even see that OD ban coming in, so that is an important thing to know. But FY, obviously, we see Evil Geniuses come out on top. But it looked like FY was going to be able to snowball the game, no pun intended, several times in that first game. Is that something also to be scared about? Not even looking surely at the combo that you have with TB backing him up as well.
I mean, we talk about FY Tusk, but Ame Terrorblade is on that same level, by the way. Like, Ame is the most successful Terrorblade player over the last 12 months of Dota 2. It's not remotely close.
2 reasons to be terrified. EG going to need a lot in storage.
LGD do ban the Phoenix. I was curious whether or not we'd see that hero come into play.
Yeah, because there are not many Phoenix hitters in this meta, and Terrorblade, he does not want to hit the egg. That's the thing about the hero. Like, you want to focus other heroes, deal as much damage as possible, not trying to kill Phoenix in a fight, especially if you need to move, if the egg is not in your face.
Big question as this draft goes along, of course, is where's this Timbersaw going to be? Is this Timbersaw? Is this going to be
Position
Sumail
5.
Timbersaw
Just kidding.
mid or hard 5? There you go, new meta. Or is this going to be an S4 Timbersaw in the offlane?
I'll just decide, Lacoste, what do you think of this Timber pick?
Usually, during the minor, Timbersaw was mostly 10th picked for a reason. I also think that at the minor, people were not giving OD this big of a deal.
Yeah, they weren't valuing
they were not valuing OD for sure this highly.
Look at this Huskar band too. EG very, very aware of these niche picks. You know, the interesting. Okay, Grimstroke is gone. So LGD, you expect to see them pick up their 5 position, pick up the X Nova hero here.
5 seconds remaining.
And you know, against a Timber, they could actually take this round.
This is a good ban. Very nice counter.
No, they're take Dazzle.
TB.
Okay. Hero that we've that has been a first phase ban staple throughout the tournament, but we just have stopped talking about it in the last couple of days because so much other stuff has come into these drafts.
Respect ban for Arc Warden.
Yeah.
Terrorblade hates to play against it. Can't enter the bubble, forces him to buy an MKB, but the problem is MKB does not work against buildings, so you're gonna have a hard time trying to siege. But this is a good answer for Terrorblade. At least you can just keep him in place, remove one of the illusions. Okay, Centaur's gone.
Also make sure it's just, we talk about drafts as checking boxes, and Shadow Shaman's so valuable as a support that can help check that push box, right? The big weakness of that Earth Spirit Timbersaw Open is that you just have no building damage whatsoever. Rasta guarantees that at least you're going to have something that's going to enable you to hit towers.
Speaking of checking boxes here, you got a Dazzle, a TB, a Tusk. What's the next box that you want to be checking, Lacoste?
I'm just looking at those boxes. They could use something that goes through the BKB. They have Walrus Punch.
I still, you
they don't have
look at
BKB
Beastmaster
carriers
here.
yet, but they're gonna get some.
You gotta look at Beastmaster, maybe Darks here.
Darks
PSG
here.
LDD, yep. I would not be surprised to see a Chalice Darks here.
Not
A lot of offlane
Not a
heroes
big
off the table.
fan when you have a Darkseer and nothing to combo with. Just for
Yeah,
the
fair
sake
enough.
of having a Darkseer. I mean, he
just
is
he
way
holds down the
better
lane.
now because he builds into those team fighting items that this meta is all about.
I mean, you could also take a page out of something we've seen the last couple days and just go offline Sven. Sustain.
They could use a hero that is good against Timbersaw. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Sven gets that. Yeah, you're right. They need to address that lane matchup somehow, and Sven would get absolutely destroyed.
Analysts racking their minds here trying to think what actually is the next pick.
It kind of feels like this feels like a difficult pick. You might actually pick your carry here and leave Ame for and leave your offlane for last.
Moving into that reserve
No,
time.
no, no. They got TV. What am I saying? Come on. Oh my God. Ugh.
Focus the
Sorry,
Haas.
long. Yeah. A long day there.
Yes, Cam threw everybody off for a second in the middle of the draft. Still regaining.
And this means that they don't know what to pick. 10 seconds
crazy.
left. They probably have an option, but they're not sure.
I am lying.
That is not what I thought we would see.
Pleasant surprise.
It means that this is probably a three-position dazzle.
Yeah.
Yep. That's part of the flex value of the dazzle. And you called for something that's good against the Timbersaw. Lion's got the 2 disables and the Mana Drain and the burst damage.
Yeah, once
Big
Timbersaw runs out of mana, he's not that effective. And I don't know, I like this Lion pick.
I do too.
They've used it a couple of times, and not the best, not the strongest laner, but still, if you manage to get levels throughout the mid game, and there's always a threat of a hex, no matter what. That's why Shadow Shaman is picked more and more.
I actually even like the dazzle shifting up to a core.
Yeah, it's going to be core dazzle.
Yeah, it makes him a little more tanky. He doesn't have to fear the Earth Spirit Timbersaw combo nearly as much.
This is one of the strengths of Dazzle that we've talked about since the beginning of this tournament. One of the reasons you saw him get banned out so much, especially early in our drafts. And it doesn't tell anything.
And it also, there's the super curveball. I don't think they're going to do it because it is LGD. And I don't think you put maybe on a Dazzle in a potential elimination match. But the super curveball is you still do have the option to pick an offlaner 5th and put the Dazzle mid. Like I said, I don't think LGD would do that. But it is on the table if the matchup dictates.
Okay.
EG, thinking this through. All right, good pickup. I love this. We didn't see that much of a Pugna, right?
Sniper?
He's banned out most of the time.
Maybe Sniper?
Oof.
Love Sniper. I mean, it's tough. Against Earth Spirit and Timbersaw, it is tough. But anytime I see that Pugna.
You would be stuck with TB and Sniper. That's
that core combo is pretty poopy.
So you just want the Sniper because of the Pugna?
I like. I mean, Pugna has Decrep, which acts as a self save, so it's not that good. But I've seen maybe specifically Dumpster a couple of Sniper Pugna matchups because Pugna, he's got this huge int game, but he is so fragile.
Right.
I mean, EG's 1-0. They could try to pick, maybe experiment a little bit with their last pick. They have a game advantage.
The game advantage, maybe be a little bit greedy here. Try to close it out in 2.
I think, though, that it's just, I don't know. It feels, you got Rasta, you got Pugna. You could just pick Jug and just run over him.
So you want to see Jug as the last pick here?
They could. They have a lot of sustain.
There it is.
That's. I think EG is they're just going to try to never leave the LGD side of the map. And
the way you siege, you set Serpent Wards, you blast with Pugna, you have a healing ward, you have Timbersaw, cutting into backlines, just buying time while you're focusing the towers.
He maybe just straight up win you this game. And okay, all right. That's not bad.
It doesn't seem bad at all.
I like EG's draft way more. They have a lot of team fighting potential on LGD. A couple of saves. You have a Sunder, you have a Dazzle TB combo, which is insane, plus a Tusk Snowball, and you have a Coco's Drum. So that's going to be... These fights are going to last for so long.
Yeah, so is this a departure from the strategies that we typically seen on the side of EG, though? Does this really put them in unfamiliar territory, or do you expect more of the same?
No, I mean, this is EG feeling super confident and saying, we are coming at you. You better be ready. I think this Kunkka pick was absolutely the best pick available. I think you're asking maybe carry us. And I've seen him do it so many times, but man, EG's looking so good right now. I think I have to favor them.
All right, you're looking to Kunkka to maybe steer this ship, but EG, they're going to be coming at them quickly. We're going to jump into the game.
Beautiful.
Well done, Rich. Steer the ship. That's what they want to do. So is it going to be a 2-0? Is it going to be a 1-1 LGD versus EG going to start right now? And Fogged, the Kunkka pick, a little bit bold going into both a Juggernaut, one of the great answers, just being able to spin off the X, and then also a Timber. How do you feel about this matchup, and how do you feel about that pick?
It's one of maybe's best heroes in the game. It was one of the things that actually, like, I was looking at the first four, and I'm like, I'm liking what EG has. The Kunkka is one that just is an X factor, because just how much burst damage you can provide. It's just how well can he do in the mid lane versus Timbersaw. He's going to be able to get more denies in the first few levels, but then once Timber gets level 3, you can't put pressure on, and Timber just can put some bully on you. And then it switches again, of course, when 6 happens. They both can put pressure on each other, depending on rotations. Do they have the damage to deal with this Timber? I have seen so many times at this tournament. We're going to let them keep doing their cheers for a second.
They're doing it, man.
They're feeling it.
They're cheering for EG, right?
I can't tell. I don't think so. But yeah, I've seen so many times in this tournament where I'm looking and I'm like, and I overlook the fact that they just can't kill the Timbersaw because they don't have magic damage. And this one, they don't have that much magic damage in their draft. They have the Kunkka, which provides a decent amount with the bow, and then the Lion. Tusk spells can be pretty decent, but we'll see how it plays out.
The other thing to think about with that Lion is that oftentimes this Timbersaw comes online way before Lion is going to get 6.
We've seen them
when it's going to be the mid-Timber.
Yeah, and we've seen them literally cutting, like the game I believe I remember, I think it was actually Weehaw playing versus a Lion when he was playing the Timbersaw, and he was cutting between tier 2s already, even between like the base towers. Like he was between tier 2 and tier 3, cutting the waves before this Lion was even 6.
Yeah, and that's something that's just so impossibly hard to deal with. We are going to be seeing him most likely in the mid lane on Sumail.
Instant mid D ward going to come out.
On the crowd, they're going to like that one. As Lion is going to be able to pick up the Observer ward.
Yep, they got the ward down first, so they saw that one get placed down right away. And the draft of EG too, they have a lot to deal with this Tower Blade. They have good heroes that just punish him. The Shadow Shaman, high magic damage and control. Earth Spirit, magic damage and control. Pugna, magic damage and control. Timbersaw, just straight magic damage. But that's Pugna and Timbersaw are two of the heroes that you don't like playing Tower Blade versus. There's just so much magic damage that comes out from these guys.
Well, and it's kind of interesting, too, because now we're seeing a little bit of a departure from what we've sometimes had from EG, which is they're picking Arteezy's hero in the very last phase. They picked Sumail's hero second, very off the bat. And, you know, I think that certainly he's been showing to have, I think, a better tournament than we've seen from Arteezy in a really long time.
Yeah, he's definitely been playing up. He's been supported really well by his team, though. In particular, that last game, you know, we were saying how Empower might have been the MVP, but Fly stacked so many camps in that game. It was insane how much he enabled Arteezy to play well.
So heroes are out across the map. It looks like, at least for now, we're going to be seeing a full-on tri-lane in both safe lanes. And how often have we just seen off-laners just get completely destroyed?
We haven't been seeing it like this, though. Usually it's the opposite. Usually it's an aggro tri-lane being run and the off-laners are placed in the safe lane. This time, it's not the case. Is S4?
Oh, he's going to get hit there by the decrep, and now the punches coming, although the tag team is already worn off, so he's going to be able to make the walk-away happen. Decrep enough to keep him alive.
These are going to be some level 1 off-laners for a while. Unless the lane does push out, which it might do so actually down bottom here.
Sumail gets the D ward there as well, recognizing that, well, if he saw my ward, they probably have one down as well. And as you mentioned, able to get the deny there on that Kunkka. Something we're going to need to watch for is how many of those last hits can Sumail actually get. But FY, again, pushing in, and bottom lane, they throw out another Earth Spike on S4. He's able to walk it off. No real chance for a kill as of yet.
Let's see how Chalice does in this top lane. He now has FY, so they will be able to at least get some experience here for this Dazzle, but has to be so careful. As soon as Earth Spirit's level 2 or Shadow Shaman hits 2, they can easily look to make a play.
Yeah, but it's so impossible to take that otherwise. Like, FY needs to be able to interrupt things. He doesn't have a snowball yet, so won't be able to interrupt Shackles, but still could be dangerous. And speaking of dangerous, they've already popped Metamorphosis. They're wrapped all the way around S4, and as the decrep wears off, looks like S4 trying to walk. One more punch. Ame draws first blood at the same time. Going up in the top lane, they kill off FY. So a 1-for-1 exchange there.
As soon as level 2s come out on at least one or two of the heroes, they're able to make those moves. The extra control, of course, coming from bottom, and the extra move they can make top. As mid, okay, Arcane Rune. Pretty decent rune, as it works in your Tidebringer too.
Uh-oh. Well, they're able to interrupt there, but X-Nova eats through the tree and walks away from the initiation. And, well, now summoning another image here. They want to try and find this kill onto X-Nova. S4 moves into position, trying to find that right click. Is it going to be enough with the decrep? The walk forward. Crit wants it so bad, but X-Nova says no.
The salve while running. Just a little bit of extra HP for him to turn. And do we say it? We have dual lanes.
It's back.
It's been quite a while since we've actually had dual lanes in this tournament, but looks like that's the way it's going to play out.
It's still a scary lane up top, I feel like, in spite of, you know, there being just the two heroes, the Shadow Shaman and the Jug. Once you get that level 3, long duration, disable, and then being able to spin on top of somebody.
Mid, we see Sumail is now getting that level 3, getting that level 4, able to get the last hits very, very nicely, and no pressure onto him whatsoever. Kunkka's still farming pretty decent though.
FY doesn't have anything else leveled up as of yet, but could think about going for those shards to try and steal away some of the last hits.
He's saving to see what he needs, right? Yeah. If he can see an aggressive play, he can go for shards. If he has to play some defensive or has to cancel the Shadow Shaman grab, he can go for the snowball.
Look at a deny though right there on Sumail. Not often you can make it happen against Kunkka with all that bonus damage coming from Tidebringer.
Yeah. Took that even in that mid lane. Again with the Orb of Venom, Sumail. This time on a Timber Saw, so you can try to put pressure.
And over here, they're able to interrupt the pull. Yeah, going for the slightly more aggressive build. This is the benefit that you're going to get from Kunkka, is that you don't have to use up the courier for your other lanes, so they can maybe get a little bit more regen or possibly try and dominate more with the items they can get after gold.
Yeah, he can save too. Yeah, he doesn't have to get all that regen. He goes for these bracers early on, so he has high strength, high base damage versus the Timber. It's all about this, like those level 6s. It's like the Timber can threaten kills onto Kunkka constantly, while Kunkka needs a rotation in order to try to threaten a kill onto Sumail.
Not at all easy. And Fly, here it comes. They've already got the shackles out, and FY decides to turn and see if he can fight Fly. The shards are already in use, and trying to find that kill. He decides to focus down on a Chalice. TP out FY. Can he get out? He does. Now, Ame, though, bottom lane, a little bit of trouble of Bruin. S4 can't put on any more pressure. Zekrep, the blast, and then the walk away. But not able to get either of the kills in the top lane.
Yeah, that's a really heads-up play there from Chalice. Usually you see it's like 2-0-2, 1-0-2. This is a 1-1-1 dazzle, just in order to prevent them to get that kill onto the Tusk. I love that. Just the understanding between the two of them, too. FY knew that his teammate was going to do it, or he accepted his death. It was one or the other.
Bounty runes going to be picked up now. Crit should be able to secure the two bottom. Arteezy and Fly get the others. EG, 4 bounties. And now the wraparound come in.
And bottom. Bottom as well. They're trying to put pressure onto Ame with the Pugn as well as the Earth Spirit.
Shackles going on. The roll, it's going to be interrupted in that bottom lane with Metamorphosis Pop. Still Chalice being chased through the trees. They find themselves 1 kill down bottom. Grave, TP away. Easy, no.
Not easy.
They find it.
Got him.
And S4 does have the decrep, the shards being used, the snowball chase, and eventually this Pugna walking away, trying to escape. More and more dives underneath the tower. And
he's too speedy.
Nothing off cooldown for Tusk to use.
Sumail has hit 6 before, maybe hit 6 in the mid lane, so you see maybe he's just going to hit some jungle creep. Sumail has taken over this one now. With the Soul Ring finished up, even a little bit from that Orb of Venom, it just gives that extra little chase to scare this Kunkka. Look at the rotations, EG. They're trying to punish. They've got a catapult here. It is 6 minutes. They can get a kill and look for the tower as well.
Real big move, and they're going to be able to find the slow. Too much damage, and strength heroes don't fare well against the Timber. They find that kill, and right as LGD wanted to rotate in with the Tusk as well. EG just a little bit quicker there.
It's that 5-minute rotation or 6-minute rotation when that catapult first gets there.
That time and again, it's an arcane rune spawning up top. And it looks like they're going to be able to keep that pressure on in this mid lane. TP coming in from this Kunkka, wants to move into position, does have level 6 now as well. The boat hasn't been dropped as of yet. The roll going to be a little bit off the mark. They find themselves 1 kill. Pretty solid there. And Fly trying to run away. Can he live through this one? He gets out the shackles. That's controlling up the rest of LGD, but they need to back away. Boat still available. They have the Torrent that can get thrown out in a second, but he needs to hit it blind. He anticipates the rotation for crit and able to find that hit. Stun comes out. FY will die. They have X off cooldown again in a second, but Sumail is so big, large, and in charge. It's going to need to retreat.
Those type of Torrents are so like, it's kind of random. It's just you have to mind game with your opponent. You can never throw it in a straight line. He puts a little bit under, and yeah, they will get the kill out of it. But Sumail gets a trade, and it's a 2K advantage for EG still out of all this from the lanes.
All the shards, and yeah, Arteezy just going to TP back home after the spin. Won't be able to do that once Tusk gets 6.
Yeah, not home. He actually TP'd to Shrine, so he can actually rotate to bottom to put pressure onto the tower. So Ame has to be careful here of the rotations, and it's not only just Ame that has to be careful of rotations, he has to be careful too of Pugna, who's already level 6 very early on. Chalice is nearly level 6 too, but the difference is that a Dazzle, you don't put pressure on a Juggernaut. Pugna can put pressure onto a Terrorblade.
Very easy to blow him up. He just happens to step too far forward, and hunting in the trees. This is scouted, though, underneath an Observer Ward, and with that, LGD completely abandoned the bottom lane. And
look at this. We love this. I remember pros were talking about building Blightstone on Timbersaw, because you actually hit towers quite a lot. You're doing this so much in the games, but
look
yeah,
at what
it's not happening, obviously.
Ame, or maybe is doing at the same time. He's pulling the creep wave back with the illusion runes. So
the 8-minute mid laner cutting the wave. But Sumail can still just, I mean, he's Timbersaw, he doesn't care. Just takes the tower anyway. A very farmed Timber is going to be coming out into this game, which could be big problems, as we were already mentioning, for LGD.
They're going to need to get that tome onto the line, most likely, to get up to level 6. And, well, S4, they have the movement in, and with the X, going to find the Torrent and interrupt that life drain. It should be the final kill going the way of maybe.
They want to defend this tower as much as possible, as long as possible, too, so they can defend their jungle. Does get taken down to half, a little bit less than half, though, from the Pugna. As Arteezy is farming in a very aggressive stance. He has a ward on the high ground there. If he sees just a support walkthrough, he could just net himself a free kill with the Omni Slash.
Good about it.
And Sumail looks like they want to be playing on the bottom side of the map. The TPs are coming in.
Jackal's already there. The Snowball moving into position with the Torrent. It's able to interrupt beautifully. Sumail, is he going to be controlled and finally killed off? The shards are there. He does get the Timber Chain down to the low ground, and now with Crit showing up as well, he's going to try and interrupt the Spore Mitt, 3-minute silence. Pretty solid coming from that Earth Spirit, and now able to walk away. They're still interrupting and trying to chase down X Nova. Teammates come in to help out Sumail and save that day.
Arteezy also gets himself a free kill with an Omni Slash. Actually finding Chalice there. EG just rallying around, just follow Sumail. They tried to make the move on him, but it's this Timbersaw. They don't have the level 6 on the line. Like we said, we've seen these Timbers really take over when you're not versus too much magic damage.
And this is the problem as well. Ame, very low, going to be pulled inside there, and now trying to walk out the silence. It's on to FY, who's being spun down by Arteezy, but with no Omni Slash. It's a little bit scary walking into there, and now Blade Fury no longer in the area. He has the heal coming in and maybe wanting to take down that healing ward. Still chasing back, trying to run. Looks like EG want to disengage. Wise decision.
Most of them, at least. Sumail's still there.
He doesn't care. The boat goes out, and it's not going to connect onto anybody. Nope. Just like that, are EG willing to go forward again? I mean, it feels like they just want to keep rolling.
I mean, of course, look, they have Pugna, they have S4 bottom just pressuring towers now. He has a full Aether Lens finished up on the Pugna too. This Timbersaw is too much of a problem for LGD to deal with right now. It's a 4K advantage now for EG.
Arteezy's just being a menace.
Yeah, he's just playing very active in this game. He's understanding that they have the advantage here because this Timber is just unkillable.
And, you know, the one answer that they've sort of had in the past as well for the Omni Slash was Grave on Chalice on such a long cooldown. That was why he didn't have it up and wasn't just able to Grave TP away. So you can see Timbersaw being the one with the highest damage so far, 11 minutes this event. He's been in the thick of everything.
He's going to be going for the All right. We haven't seen this item, I don't think, much at all this time. He's going for the Holy Locket as top.
Ward trap onto Fly. They have the shackles afterwards, but Fly not long for this world. Can he kill off Fly? Oh, the smoke. What a player.
No hesitation, too. As soon as he died, he popped that smoke to walk away. And Ame farms the whole wards.
Yeah, the Holy Locket, definitely a departure from what we've seen before. Able to increase his regen, give him a little bit of magic resistance, a little bit of, you know, mana regen as well. But it hasn't been picked for a reason.
Yeah, it's very expensive. But it can, it can be really strong in a Timber Saw when they don't even have the damage already to bring you down. It has the cloak built in, right? It has that magic resistance, and he's going to have so much HP regen versus the side of LGD. Interesting choice. He had the Yules queued up for a very long time and then switched.
Yeah. Does still feel like could potentially be brought down if they get the full combination out of him. Speaking of that, they're going to pull him back in. Miss the boat. Misses a little bit off the mark, and now LGD looking rather sheepish. Need to walk away from this one. The 4-person magnetized chasing forward. They're going to grave incredibly early there onto the Kunkka, and it looks like he will fall afterwards. Omni Slash on Kunkka. Chase forward for Chalice, who's just trying to run and hide, but Crit says no as they chase him down. Can reapply Magnetize one more time if they so desire. Nope.
Oh, he's just going to live.
Out of stone.
Oh, wait, Sumail's in.
Sumail in deep. Now turning onto FY. Apparently he doesn't care about anything. Doesn't even have that Holy Locket yet. Well, it looks like he is going to finally back out. So Chalice lives.
It is looking quite a bit right now like one of those Timber games that we were mentioning. He just steamrolls over. Ame is getting space, though, on the Terrorblade, at least for LGD. Has the Yasha finished up another 2,000 gold, too. He's going to have an incredible game. Has to get a BKB pretty early in this game, though, versus the Pugna and the Timber Saw and all the control that comes out from EG.
Level 6 on Lion, smoke up is 4, make something happen. The benefit of having the Ghost Ship is just on that relatively low cooldown. Yeah. The only person that they see right here is going to be Fly. They're going to hit the Blind Torrent, snowball in, take down this Shadow Shaman. And now, EG Sumail thinking about going into this one still. They still have boat available, but apparently they don't want to fight. Yeah.
They can't go for him.
It's too much.
I'm waiting to see how much the actual HP regen is when he has all the stacks. I think it's like about 60-ish. 56.7 when he's got full stacks up right now.
That's really insane.
You're not breaking through that on the side of LGD. Unless you fully isolate him. Or you find a DD, but it is EG who's going to find a DD.
And still, LGD, at times they've looked okay, but it has been EG that have been dominating this game, and now heading up to the north.
I like this item that Arteezy is going for here. He's going for the Yasha and then the Diffusal. Speaking of Arteezy, though, he's getting chased out here.
Oh, could be in trouble. They can hold on to the Walrus Punch as well. They turn it now onto Arteezy, and, well, with S4 showing up, they just need to get out. Yeah, it's much too much.
Yeah, I like this item build, though, like I was mentioning on Arteezy. The Yasha Diffusal allows you to burn quite a bit of mana on the Terrorblade and prevent the Sunder in a lot of situations as top. Sumail gets a kill on X-Nova.
They will find the return kill onto Fly. And, well, it's a DD on this Timber. They will have X again in 4 seconds, but this is pretty far to chase Sumail here.
Yeah, he doesn't have the armor stacks built up right now, but yeah, they're chasing far. And looking at bottom, there is a Pugna with a Juggernaut backing him up to try to blast and put pressure onto this tower already.
Don't need to be that afraid of an Omni Slash since there are creeps to snowball too, but and speaking of the snowball, it is now used. They have the decrep already onto one. Arteezy looking for the opening, finds the Omni Slash onto both of them. They throw out the Finger of Death, which means now that Arteezy is completely left alone and isolated, but the roll coming in from the Earth Spirit, trying to save his carry, see if he can keep him alive, and in fact take down the Kunkka. So maybe falls, 30 seconds on the sidelines, and Ame just trying to slow down whatever push is coming.
But they're forcing LGD to go back to their base already here because of the pressure they're doing with this Pugna. Arteezy's even hitting the high ground a bit here. And now they're forcing, yeah, it's all the heroes of LGD back in their base at the 15-minute mark.
Now Arteezy turned upon. A miss on the Timber Chain. He's going to move forward for this one, the Snowball. This is down onto Sumail. And very, very low. This Terrorblade needs to be careful. Still has Sunder available. Turns it now onto Timber. Out of mana, out of time. Can they kill him off in time? Sumail will fall. They get the kill before the Timber Chain goes out. Arteezy wants a little bit in turn, though. And now they have the Grave onto the Terrorblade, trying to trap him with the wards. But the Terrorblade walks away. And now the boat going out. It's caught on the fly. They snowball forward, trying to find more as well. Arteezy, can he get out of there in time? S4 shown back up. They're going to throw out that stun. Well, Crit trying to walk away. And with all these stacks of bad juju up, the physical critical damage, and now the catch on to S4 as well. EG are starting to fall apart up on the high ground. They got him caught, and S4 too will hit the deck. The torrent. Catch. Do they have anything? The walrus punch. They catch him out. Arteezy gets rolled. 5 people dead. LGD came to battle
with buybacks. So early on, having 2 buybacks at the 16-minute mark, because EG's threatening high ground. They did get a significant amount of damage, though, on that tower. It's down to 698. LGD, though, were able to punch back. Much-needed responses. If they don't get these kills, it could be really disastrous for them.
Well, we had the first highest, now the second highest amount of damage dealt. Last hits, excuse me. But nonetheless, 3,000 gold lead still for EG in spite of it. But it does show some signs of life there for LGD.
Yeah. Sumail they have to watch out just because that Sunder, right? Just set Sumail down to such a low threshold. He ran out of mana, too. I think the Lion was using the mana drain. It looked like it was level 2 mana drain, at least at that point. I think he got some levels afterwards. But, yeah, the mana drain even coming into use there versus Sumail. Sure, it's really hard to kill him, but he was just completely He didn't have any spells left. So EG, they force quite a lot of reaction, but do get punished for their extremely aggressive moves.
And we've talked about heroes that like to have these extended long team fights. On the one side, you've got the Juggernaut, who has the healing ward, can keep everybody survivable. But on the other side, it's that bad Juju and Dazzle. If he keeps spamming out the spells, this is going to start to get to some serious minus armor. And combo together with Terrorblade and Tag Team could be a problem.
Yeah. EG's already grouping up, though. They've got Serpent Wards. They're going to go push this base. They already have such incredible fighting power. Arteezy's gone for early items. Everyone on their team has gone for early items. That could be why you saw Sumail going for this quick Holy Locket. They're just like, we want to end the game ASAP. Just try to get an advantage off of Arax. Force LGD to play reactionary. And LGD, they're all in their base right now. They're ready.
Up on the high ground, the illusion is up front and center. Now trying to burn through some of the mana with that Diffusal Blade. Arteezy's hitting himself as well. They have the Torrent. Not going to connect onto anybody. And they use the Glyph. With the wards down, how do you defend against this? They also need to deal with this Pugna ward and Ame. Down to just 500 HP. They're trying to kill off these wards before they lose their tier 3 tower, but it looks like they will barely be able to get it, but S4 finds the kill.
Meta was used. That's the one thing EG does know. So they're probably like, okay, meta's used. We can back up. We can still look to fight, though. Just get our lanes in a better spot and continue putting the pressure on. They've got a tower, so they can even look to kill these shrines, too.
Roche doesn't feel like the easiest thing in the world to take for their lineup right now.
With Serpent Wards, they can look to do it, but without that, their damage is pretty negligible. But yeah, look, they're all just ready to still fight. They know meta was used. That's one of the big things for LGD.
But also the vision laid down,
Arteezy.
Interrupted onto Arteezy. There's the finger of death, the torrent, and one more punch comes from the Walrus.
Beautiful stun there coming out from X-Nova.
On the high ground, they have the vision now. They're able to get the pullback here onto S4, and these slow, drawn-out fights can start to get the bad juju built up. They're shackling this Terrorblade. Can they interrupt it now? They already have the Grave. They're going to be able to have the Sunder once they come out of this one. Fly trying to stay alive as they chase down S4 on this Pugna. Almost able to find that kill. Ame, can he live through it in time? They're trying to turn this one. They're isolating, trying to kill. Are they going to be able to bring him down? They do. Terrorblade falls as Crit able to find that finish. The Grave comes out at the last second onto FY, and Crit, can they kill him off in time as well? The Roller's Punch, they want him dead so bad. Live through it with the snowball.
And they also take out Sumail on the north. What? Oh my god, the crit's coming into play from maybe. Just go straight armlet, small crit. EG. Starting to get outplayed a little bit here by LGD. Crit made some sick plays there, but then, yeah, just a turnaround. That vision, like you mentioned, LGD, persistent in fighting even when they didn't have the meta.
Oh, and the other thing to think about now, they've got Arteezy yet again, no finger of death, but with the boat they take him down, and Fly also caught with the shards. This crowd is on fire, and so too are LGD.
X-Nova in the right place at the right time, it seems. 4, 4, and 9 on this line, great vision being set up, catching the moves from EG when they get too aggressive. That is look at that turnaround.
This has been a disaster and a half for EG over the past couple of minutes, but it's also LGD just recognizing when they can fight. And you think about that last engagement that happened by the bottom shrine. You looked at how little damage Ame really did in that fight, and they still won it.
Yep.
It's got to be concerning.
This crit, the crits on the Kunkka. Can't overlook those. Look at the damage dealt by Maybe so far in this game. The second highest, 14.6k.
So 21 minutes in, we've got the Dagon picked up for the Pugna. As this game goes on longer and longer, how do you see it unfolding? Do you start to feel limited if you're Evil Geniuses, or do you think they can continue to play as it gets to the later stages?
I think pretty scary playing versus LGD, playing versus Terrorblade and Kunkka in the late game. Your Timbersaw at one point, he will start to fall off, so will Pugna, and you just have a Juggernaut besides that. Their team fight's still pretty strong, but yeah, you don't really want to be playing into the late game unless you have a good advantage on the side of EG. That's why you see them playing so fast. They're trying to keep these moves coming, but LGD's responding.
Oh, and they weren't able to get the silence to interrupt it, so Fly dies yet again. Not the biggest steal in the world, but they do lose yet another, and that lead is going to start to become larger and larger for LGD as they have gained back control of the map.
And they've gotten now your 5-position Lion. X-Nova has a Blink Dagger. So now they've got crazy amounts of catch. It's also a level 13 Lion. So that level 2 finger, he's already got 2 stacks of it. Now they have a lot more magic damage to deal with that Timbersaw, who was having an excellent game. EG.
Something going good there for EG. The smoke that came out from LGD was directly under a ward. And so they should recognize that this rotation should be coming. And it looks like Sumail is the one that's up front and center. Meanwhile, S4 can keep pushing out this bottom lane and try and put some pressure on that tier 3 tower. They do find Sumail. The stun, the follow-up, it's pretty good, but now Crit's there to try and save the day. Torrent going to connect, but X-Nova's in trouble, and he will fall down. Now Chalice, blocked in by his own Necrobooks there, is now going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Going to try and go for the grave and live as long as possible. But eventually, they bring down the Dazzle to boot. Sumail still looking for Maybe. It's a hard chase here, but he does have the Eul Scepter. And with the time, maybe the rest of EG can show up here. They end up losing Fly to Chalice. The Necrobooks were running him down, and now the Decrep. They've got eyes on Maybe. The Torrent moving into position as well as the boat. But it looks like the mid player for LGD is finally going to be brought down as well. So EG fighting back in a big way there. They take down 3.
And back the other way we go, right? EG making an overextension earlier. Now LGD, they push it a little bit too far forward with that blink from X-Nova. EG having that shrine available, they just TP in, and they have much better positioning there.
And it all is set up again by that vision and recognizing where the smoke was coming from. So S4 pushing down bottom here. And they're in a great position. I mean, granted, you do have the Metamorphosis, which is going to be back up in 35 seconds. But at least for now.
I think they might just go for the Roche. Yep, Fly's already running through there. He has Serpent Wards, and they will commit forward. S4.
They catch him. They've got vision. And it looks like the Pugna is going to try and buy as much time as possible. If they can take down Roche while they're trying to kill off that Pugna, this could all be worth it in the end. So Roche beginning to be felled, and the TP is coming in from Kunkka. He's moving into position. You've got to be so wary. The Torrent goes out and
5
connects
seconds
onto
for Meta.
2. Still in some trouble. They have the wards down, so this Roche is eventually going to fall. Can they make anything happen in turn? They pull back in onto Sumail. Now X-Nova out there as well. They have a 2-person silence. Not bad at all. Sumail still is able to get out of there. Now the Omni Slash connected onto several. They didn't pull everybody into that snowball, but, well, Jug in a little bit of trouble himself. Going to be able to jump away. Sumail down incredibly low HP. They have the Sumail Vessel on him as well. He's trying to run, takes it off with the Lotus Orb, but they eventually find that kill too. Lion dies, does not have buyback, and neither does Sumail actually. And with such low time left on this Metamorphosis, it looks like they're still going to be able to find it as Crit tries to get up to the high ground, but it won't happen.
Oh my god. EG had to, Arteezy had to bail out. He Omni-Slashed and TP to base, and his team kept trying to fight. LGD, now they're able to get the Roche, and they're looking for more. S4.
My goodness, chasing forward for this Pugna. He's decrep. They've got eyes on him, and, well, I don't know if EG really have the maneuverability to deal with this at all. Sumail's still dead for 18 seconds. They just need to get out.
Back the other way. And Ame has 5,200 gold on this Terrorblade as well. What a turn of events there. As EG just gets, EG just gets caught a bit there trying to take the fight, but LGD, they were ready to get that battle going. They have so many ways to get on top of the backlines.
Oh, X-Nova. He finds himself a crit. The Hex is there. They have the Earth Spike to follow it up afterwards. And, oh, Stylin, stun. Crit, trying to turn it. Forced to use the Grave. And this is a very tanky Earth Spirit, but they do manage to get the blink away from the Lion.
X-Nova's been everywhere this game. He's just finding so many opportunities for his teams. He even got his team a little bit killed in one of those situations when he went for that blink on the right side of the map. But this time, and a bunch of other times throughout this game, he's just finding the perfect pickoffs.
So a 4,000 gold lead for LGD. They still have not been able to take down the shrines on EG, and it's sort of a testament to the fact of how much LGD has been able to constrict the map.
Yeah, they're just constantly battling. I mean, it's 32-17. That is crazy. It's 49 kills in 26 minutes. Arteezy will find X-Nova here.
Nice little pickup.
Oh, but FY is there.
He has Omni Slash to try and turn it. FY steps far forward. Everybody is here with the boat going down. Arteezy walks the other direction. Doesn't have spin for 5 more seconds. Healing ward in the pit, trying to run, trying to hide. Has that wand as well. The spin eventually comes out, and it looks like with that, Arteezy does get out.
Damn, that was huge. But yeah, as we saw on the screen before, Fly having 12 deaths in this game. Maybe running into his 13th death right here.
That's how it happens. So they bring down the Shadow Shaman. And kind of one by one, it feels like EG's been picked off here and there for the past couple of minutes. So they need to sort of wait out that Aegis. Still 2.5 minutes on this Aegis before it's reclaimed.
This Terrorblade is just, Ame is so farmed in this game. 6-1 and 6, 300 last hits. We said full Iascati picked up in 1 purchase, already approaching that next item. Maybe went for that early crit to provide them some extra damage in the team fights, which was extremely beneficial. Now he has his BKB, so now they can deal with the control. And this Timber, we mentioned he could be such a big problem, such a big problem. Sumail is starting to fall off pretty hard here. The Spirit Vessel comes out. He's got the Yules and the Lotus Orb to be able to remove it, but there's just a lot more damage now coming up from LGD from these items.
Now, and you know, you can point at the Holy Locket and say rough choice, but I think that at the time it was the idea that they were just going to be able to run down the lane with it, and that timing window for it I feel like has fallen off a lot.
They tried to just breach an end, and LGD threw bodies at it with buybacks and whatnot, and it worked.
Silence out. Oh my god!
The Dagon.
All right. Aegis down.
That was the meta too. He just popped meta.
And can they do it again? They need to be careful about this disengage here. You suddenly get caught out of position. In the meantime, Arteezy's TPing back into this one. Crit is going to be controlled, fingered, and still alive for the moment with the decrypt keeping him alive. And now the roll away. They keep Crit alive here. But they pull him back in. There's going to be the X, and now also in some trouble is maybe fully controlled and killed off.
And now they're chasing
the rest of them they're looking for this chase down onto Ame. If they can manage to find any of these heroes, they have the Yule Scepter again in a second. There's going to be the Sheep out as well, catching and finding that kill onto X-Nova. They want more. Yule Scepter, not quite in range. So the Timber Saw wasn't able to get any more afterwards, but they take down Kunkka and Lion.
That's big. They get themselves 2 big kills. And Fly, even though we were saying this Shadow Shaman has 13 deaths, still has somehow finished up an Aether Lens in this game. So having the positioning to be able to just grab people from the back lines, very nice for EG. As Arteezy now will be able to work on this, and he just finished up the Maelstrom and he's going for that Mjolnir next, so his damage will increase quite a lot versus Ame, who has not built that BKB just yet.
This game going back and forth. They jump forward. There's going to be the Hex already. Now Fly in some trouble as they want a little bit more after the Shadow Shaman, but he hasn't died yet, so he's keeping control over 1. And S4 trying to run. Still
Takes
have
the bounty.
stick charges as well. All right.
He stopped for the bounty.
Get whatever value you can. Run, S4, run. He decrypts. He tries to get out of here. The life drain immediately taken off Dagon, but yeah, they got what they came for. The crowd loves the 3 gang up.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he stopped and took the bounty was just great. Now, how many did they get there? They got 3 of the 4 bounties.
All right.
So as we see, the economy game, it's still even, and the experience starts to get slowed down too. 36-20. It feels like LGD did have a pretty commanding start, like going back toward their way, but it's still pretty even. Crazy game.
Well, and so far, it does look like it's pretty much just been comfortable staying with the 1 crit on the Kunkka, as opposed to upgrading it to the full data list, going back for the Shadow Blade next.
Okay. Guess he wants just more positioning for himself. Lets him get these like pick-offs easier too, I guess, with the Shadow Blade.
Yeah.
Because he's feeling like also Terrorblade just maybe does enough damage, Ame. Even though Ame did buy the Demon Edge toward that data list and then was like, never mind. I need the BKB. We were mentioning it early on in the game how you can suffer when there's so much control coming out from the EG side if you don't get one on a TB. And now he's going to have a 10-second one at the 30-minute mark. Pretty damn nice for a TB.
Yeah, incredibly nice.
There it is.
BKB completed. A very nice timing coming out for these guys.
Yeah, it's full 10-second on him. Maybe also having a 9-second BKB too.
Being able to delay it. So effective for these late game scenarios and turn into the fights. It's going to be Guardian Greaves next for the Timber Saw. Has them coming out right now in the Courier, and we do have the GPM Talon now for the Lion.
Okay. Sumail has actually 3 ways to dispel now to make sure he does not get Spirit Vesseled, and also he has a Holy Locket, so his Guardian Greaves are going to heal for a little bit more on his teammates too. It's just little things that can add up.
Okay, I like
but
that.
He is a lot tankier, and now he provides auras for his team too. See if it pays off.
32 minutes in, and we have hit a little bit of an impasse here as we're waiting for the next Roche. Could think about smoking out in the next couple of minutes here, and because of that, already we're seeing LGD sort of hold this high ground and, well, now jump forward and kill off an illusion, but we'll probably see both of the teams just play around each of those high grounds for a little while.
A lot about how these fights are initiated. If someone gets disabled before they get an ability off, like if Arteezy can get controlled before he's able to get anything off, they have to play defensively and try to protect him with Lotus Orbs and whatnot on the side of EG. It's a lot about those first jumps.
Oh, Chalice in no man's land. They're bringing in the Lion afterwards, but are the rest of LGD going to be here in time? They show up. There's going to be the Walrus Punch already off onto one, bringing him down low. Can they kill him off in time? That's the Juggernaut gone. 70 seconds. Now they use the Sunder and Sumail.
It's on the Lotus
have a
Orb.
great way to do this. Okay, not bad. Ame, is he in trouble here? Completely isolated. Lion not able to get over in time, and Ame already to fall down low. They kill him off. But do they have anything else in the tank? There's no buyback on the Terrorblade or the Jug for this fight. It's basically Sumail and Crit versus the world. And are they going to be able to do enough? The Snowball trying to save him for the moment, and now turn it back over into the Snowball. Sumail goes through, but the Timber Chain interrupted. Long, drawn-out fights. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Looks like for now, with the X used yet again, they've got Crit pulled back, and EG just wanting to disengage from this one for now.
It's 2v4, but EG's trying to walk away, but they can't. There's too much control from LGD.
This is an impossibility right now, and Sumail low on mana. Crit can maybe try and go for a roll TP away, but he can't quite get away from all of them. This is going to be the first roll, at least for now, with the Ghost Scepter trying to get out of there, but they've got him caught. And now Crit falls. Sumail also being completely controlled here. This has just been the story of this patch, it feels like, is big, tanky, extended fights. Sumail still living through all of this. He has the Dispels, so that way the Spirit Vessels don't increase his regen. But this fight started with Arteezy going down, and he damn near respawned.
And X-Nova gets Hex.
Oh, God. He wanted to come and help him, but the Crit comes out as well. Fly goes down for dead, and there's no buyback for Sumail.
X-Nova's been so fast on his fingers. This Lion just so damn well played this game. Getting the instant jump onto Arteezy, getting the control, getting the burst. Been a spectacular performance for X-Nova on this. I mean, it's a 5-position line, but he feels like he's doing so much work. Same thing with FY, this Tusk too. 10-3 and 22, the supports on LGD just absolutely crushing it this game.
You know, the kill score of 42 to 22, it often doesn't feel this close.
No.
But nonetheless, it's a 4,000 gold lead, and that's it. At least in terms of experience, it's significantly further into the favor of LGD. As they're going to be doing those XTP shenanigans.
And maybe didn't go for the Shadow Blade. He went just straight Daedalus, just went in for the damage. We saw him how much he was actually pumping out in that fight from those Tidebringers.
Instead going back for the Blink now.
Yeah. So one thing, it's like they get Ame, but he's not the only one who's providing a significant amount of damage in the fights. It's also the Kunkka who just constantly throws those Tidebringers. If he survives throughout, I mean, I think like 2 boats as well inside of these fights if they go on for that long.
Now 35 minutes in with 64 kills on the board.
Will they see the Roche respawn, the Necro Book? It does see it respawn, just as it dies. So.
All right, the pinks come out. And now some extra vision here. EG. They control the middle of the map right now. They should recognize that Roche should be able to respawn now. And as they go up onto the high ground, the scan is going to connect. Got to be so careful at this moment. Walking into position, Ame, fly, they spot him out. He's already dropped down the wards. Where's the rest of LGD? Are they going to be able to get here in time? The Dagon does so much damage, but the BKB's already out. They don't have any continued damage to try and get this as the Sunder could come out. RTZ thinking about chasing this one forward. The Omni slashes out, only kills off Nova, and Ame, he's able to turn this one around completely, trying to kill him off. The magnetizes down as well, but Sumail has shown up, and now the silence, now the follow-up with the boat is there. He's getting all of that Coco's rock, and the snowball save, able to turn it. Sumail, he wants to kill him off. It's so close. The Timber Chain, the chase forward, the Chakra, they finally kill him. But is it going to be enough for them afterwards? They've got one more hit here onto the Tusk, and now also the Kunkka going down. 2 dead. The buyback comes from that Terrorblade.
2 of the cores are dead, and Ame just bought back. He has to be super careful. He does not have meta available. S4 just sat in the sidelines of that whole fight, free casting as a Pugna. In comparison to most of the other scenarios, he dies right away. He was able to get absolutely everything off in this fight.
And a 5,000 gold swing, and maybe something is a brewing here. Is EG 1 game away from moving on in this tournament and knocking LGD again out 2-0. Sumail beating onto this tier 3 tower. 60 seconds and 70 seconds left for both the Kunkka and the Dazzle to respawn, and Ame needs to hold without dying.
And without meta. Yes, be careful. FY will commit forward. They're looking for S4.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. They kill off S4 in the duration of the BKB, but what can they do afterwards? Now Hex trying to control up 1. Can they bring down this Earth Spirit? Well, meanwhile, Timbersaw just goes forward and finds himself another kill, and now they've got him. Ame controlled. Hex, everything in the book. And can they run him down, though? They just don't have the control. This Terrorblade is too tanky to kill off in the duration of a Hex.
Crit ran out of stones. He was trying to pull stones from anywhere to try to kick and slow him, get anything any type of lockdown, but unable to. He also was seconds from getting the Ethereal Blade on the Courier to maybe turn and save S4. But S4 buys back. They know they have this huge timing window where Lion's not going to respawn still. Dazzle's not back. They're going for this Rex. They might be able to get it with this 100 damage on the Timbersaw talent.
So the continued fights with minimal numbers coming from LGD. EG just want to end this game as badly as possible. The E-Blade, the Dagon, it goes out. Soon the Dazzle is going to be back up. Already Kunkka's respawned. S4 trying to run away. Sumail still standing tall in the midst of all of this. They have the X. They pull it back in. The boat is there. They're going to have the on all of these heroes, but LGD, they can't find a target. They can't find anybody. There's already the E-Blade, and now the chase forward. There's going to be the Sunder to try and turn this one. The roll forward. The Grave isn't going to be enough to keep him alive. They already taking him down low. The snowball save. Again, just trying to keep him up, but FY falls, and so too will maybe. They buy back on that Tusk. They chase forward the snowball, pulling him into the fountain. Meta is back up, but what can they do with it? They don't have all of their control. Trying to run away. Crit is out of there already, but FY wants to chase. The snowball is there. Oh, great Lotus Orb, able to keep that Earth Spirit alive, and Crit just going to roll away yet again. Sumail has been a bulwark in front of all of the damage from LGD.
Oh my god, these fights are insane. They keep S4 alive. He used the buyback, so they were really prioritizing keeping that Pugna okay. And Crit with this Ethereal Blade 2 coming into play. 50 seconds, still no Kunkka. EG. Keep putting the pressure on to Sumail. Will finish up a full Bloodstone now too, so it's been hard to kill. Now see if he's ever able to get that Bloodstone off too. Even more healing coming his way. And that Roche is up. They don't have Serpent Wards, but they're committing forward. No Kunkka still for 30, and that was the meta used for Ame. My god, this game is insane how back and forth it really is.
I have had to loosen my tie a couple of times in this one.
Just looking, I mean, the graph just tells it. Even not just that, where the experience is just all over the place too. EG just punching back so hard in these last few minutes.
And the story of buybacks and how many that had to be used. And yet still, we're in a situation now where no buybacks on the Radiant, whether from gold or timers, it's not there. And the only one on the Dire that has it right now from EG is that Earth Spirit.
You have to be so careful to just protect Ame. Since he used that buyback, still 4.5 minutes left on that one. Maybe we'll have his in about 600 gold, so they're probably going to let him farm it up. But EG with a big momentum swing as they get that Aegis and that cheese. Who's actually holding, who's shielding cheese? S4, right? Yeah. He needs to get some type of defensive item too here. He's going to be going for that Aeon Disc, really needs it, because they're going to try to go for this Pugna. We see how much S4 can do. Even though S4 is like 1, 10, and 13, we see how many deaths EG does have. It's just the structural damage and what they can do with their lineup just based off their spells.
The 4-person smoke up. Artur not with them. Doesn't have a way to get there easily either. But this is to try and see if they can catch somebody out alone that's farming on the map.
Well, they know those buybacks were used. They know the meta's still on cooldown for a little bit. They're committing forward.
And they found one. FY all alone, chased down, and looking like he is going to try and get out of there. They found themselves a second. Lion is going to die here. No buyback at all. EG, they're able to pay off with this gank, take down FY. That's the 2 supports gone for a very long time.
And unlike usual, Sumail went for a different ability this game. Usually we see the talent, the 1400 Timber Chain range. He took the Whirling Death attribute reduction. The damage that actually comes out from it is crazy. If you can get 2 stacks of this Whirling Death, they're losing 54% of their stats.
This is an insane amount of damage, and if that's strength, it's really a problem. Oh my god, Arteezy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the damage that comes out there. They have to use the decrep on him, actually, and Sumail. He also actually can't stand underneath all of this with the bad juju working.
Still has 90 HP per second, though, and has the Bloodstone at the ready if he needs to pop it.
It's Ame versus the world, and Arteezy, he's getting dangerously low right there. Does have that Aegis still to work with, and Ame battling back, walking away. They do have that Torrent hit now. Metamorphosis, how much duration is left? It's about halfway there as well. And Sumail just going to walk forward. Has that Lotus Orb to try and turn it now. Maybe Xing himself. There's the that Torrent again walking away, but Arteezy
has the Jug, just takes the buildings. They get the X, but Savrax is down. EG claim themselves an 8K gold lead, even though they're down 46 to 31.
And as you said, you can't just leave that Timber Saw alone. He does too much damage.
And now,
the turnaround.
And the Fortunate Runes. You get map control. You get not only an Arcane Rune bottom, but that blessed EG in the first game. Arteezy will get another one. The immediate smoke. They're looking. They know meta's still on cooldown.
Oh, and the roll-in coming. Chalice, he's all here. He needs to escape. They interrupt his look in that Exomo's Rum. The turn on. Nothing. Can they kill him off in time? Their Jailing Ward is still alive here. And now Kunkka has possibly gone a bit too far as well. The Omni connects on the boat again, finding that kill, trying to stay in trouble, and they have F1 pretty good, but they lose another on their way out. Lions dead, an LG tournament.
They're still tier 2 up top, though. They're going to just go for tier 4s if they want to on EG. That's the only thing they can, and they will.
EG, eyes on the prize, walking forward and trying to take this one. They have the glyph, they have everything, but not the heroes that they need.
The DD Omni Slash, maybe died so fast.
This is a Kunkka. Supposed to be big tanky guy. I can't believe it. They don't have answers. EG taking this one down and going to possibly here eliminate LGD yet again in front of their home crowd as the throne will fall. Fireworks flying yet again, and again LGD have to watch them behind them.
Wow. That game was wild. EG were so persistent on just keeping to take these fights, and this Timbersaw, he started to get a point where he was falling off, but they just played super fast around the timings of LGD. Ame, whenever meta was down, even when meta was up, they were even still running at him to take the fights, but they were just able to persist and make the fights last too long because this Timber, how tanky he is. That was pretty spectacular. It really looked like it could go either way until EG just seemed to be too durable.
Unbelievable. And man, what a game to end it on. I think both of those games were fabulous. As EG there going to go out and do the handshake as well. But full disclosure, I keep on jumping up and down, and the preview monitor in front of us is flickering on and off.
Yeah, I think Gabe broke something from excitement.
I'm definitely have broken the stage. I'm sorry. Please, it's okay.
I mean, it was a super exciting game. It seemed to go both ways, but the damage just didn't. It seemed to kind of like slow down a lot from LGD, and the control, the overwhelming control from EG. Crit on this Earth Spirit. We've seen time and time again how much damage he can do on it.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, Fly was 2-18 in this game, but they were actually able to do so much just with their control and just sitting in the back lines.
Impressive performance from Evil Geniuses. LGD will again exit the tournament, and that means that LGD have knocked out 3 of the 4 teams from China, and they also were able to beat the other one in the group stages.
EG, yeah. Yep. that is, I think PPD would be proud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us today here, but we do still have one final panel to head back to. So, Rich, what do you guys think about that series?
We have plenty to say about that series, but ultimately, EG going to be the kings of the lower bracket yet again. Crazy game. Where do we start?
EG fans, you won. Relax. Take a breath.
It's not easy to be an EG fan, though.
No.
Like the roller coaster of emotions. We're doing it. We're not doing it. Then everyone is happy at the end of the day.
That was basically 3 games, right? The first 15 minutes, EG shreds. The second 15 minutes, they lose their collective minds. The third 15 minutes, they play world-class Dota and win the game.
There was a rough patch. There was definitely a rough patch in
Rough
there.
patch.
I will say, though, on the side of LGD, consistently throughout the entirety of the game, put on a fantastic show. They looked great. They definitely also had the crowd going for them. It's tough to see that region go from the tournament, but mostly it's going to be at the hands of EG, and now they're going to get to play against Secret tomorrow. But let's talk about what EG did right in the beginning portions of the game.
Well, I think you go back even further than that. You go back to the draft. And I think in both of these games that last pick gave EG a decided advantage in the laning phase. It was very clever, switching up the Pugnet to the off lane. Once they saw that Kunkka on board, you have that melee matchup for the Timbersaw mid.
Now, what went wrong in the mid portion of the game? The mid game was very weird on the side of EG. You talk about that game looking back and forth, and once we get to that 15-minute mark, it starts to go a little haywire.
Oh, yeah. Well, once Arteezy got caught farming when they took the tier 3 tower on the bottom lane, everything just went downstairs for EG. Unbelievable, man. I felt like they could close the game in 20 minutes. Done.
Yeah, I really want to see those highlights because the 1630 backup, Artur's just farming at camp. It looked like he might have thought he was baiting because the other EG heroes were in the vicinity on that right side Radiant Jungle high ground, and still tried to take the fight after Artur got burst down. But at that point in the game, particularly so early, you just threaten high ground. You're able to take shrines and get Roche at that point if you can disengage cleanly. But you got to respect that team fight of LGD.
About that fight, they had a sentry on the high ground,
right.
So they were sure there was no ward, but I'm not certain if there was a low ground ward from LGD. I got to see that again.
Well, we talk about that moment, though, where Arteezy all of a sudden gets put in a dangerous situation. Maybe we'll hear him talk about it right now. He's standing on the floor. Let's hear what Arteezy has to say.
Sorry, here we go, Artur, we're live, sorry. That game was crazy. We were just discussing how crazy that game was. Can you describe the game in your own words?
Well, I think my team carried me really hard, like super hard, like...
Don't worry about her.
Okay, yeah, my team carried me really hard. I wanted to do this kind of play, and then it didn't work out, and then my game, I felt like, it wasn't going to be like that easy, but my team kept like encouraging me and stuff. And I played pretty bad the second game, but my team literally carried me. Like, I don't even know if I did anything besides a healing ward or something, so...
There was, the last Omni Slash was pretty cool, right? At the end, in the mid.
Yeah, but it's just one button, so
yeah,
it's like
right,
you just press it.
I think it's 17 minutes, they team wiped you bottom lane near the tier 3, and then it seemed like you were just throwing yourselves at them.
Yeah, I think, like, the TB messed up pretty hard, in my opinion. He didn't go BKB, and... like, it was really hard for his team to fight because he was the one with the highest net worth and he wasn't able to actually do damage. So I think if I didn't feed, like, because of his item choices, we probably would have done, like, we would have won the game like 30 minutes or something.
Okay, that's fair enough. You've won, I think, 4 games in a row in the lower bracket. They're saying lower bracket Kings facing Team Secret next. How do you feel about that matchup?
Well, it's nice that we don't have to play a VP like last major. I don't think we've ever played against Secret with our full roster. Last time we played them was Hamburg. We were using CCNC, so yeah, I mean, this is our first time playing. I'm kind of excited. Like, we finally get to play Secret in its lower bracket. Yeah.
Any message to them?
No, I got nothing, man.
You got nothing? Okay, I don't think that your team carried you. I think you did very, very well.
Sure.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for the interview, Artur.
No problem.
Back to the panel.
Now we're going to get to look at some of those moments here. And Arteezy being a little bit critical of himself, but I do think it is important to be somewhat critical of EG here because we know that they do have what it takes. Arteezy says that as well, though. He talks about this matchup and he says, we'd rather play Secret to try to make our way into the grand finals, and they'll have that opportunity tomorrow. Let's look at how they got here. And at this point, it was off to the races, Lacoste. EG looked like they were going to be able to close out the game quick.
Oh yeah, we also saw some records broken, most deaths on Shadow Shaman in this tournament, but still they managed to win a game.
How about the most hero damage at 11 minutes of any hero in the tournament on the Sumail Timbersaw at 11 minutes? Definitely coming out on the right side of that statistic. And I mean, this exchange here is fine. It's fine to give up the couple of deaths for tower pressure, but you know. Oh, boy.
If you want to talk about itemization, man, this is how you play Timbersaw. You don't build a shitty Bloodstone first item and do nothing. Holy Locket, very good. They can't kill him. A lot of magical damage. Yule Scepter to survive. And then he built Lotus Orb. There was a couple of clutch plays with it. So good against Steep. He gives you enough mana regen. Guardian Greaves as well. So 3 ways to dispel the Spirit Vessel and
yeah, so
they just could not kill him at that point.
Obviously, the EG fans cut these highlights because we skipped right over the really problematic parts of the game, and this is back to where EG started to retake control of the game, able to punish LGD super hard on that disengage.
Oh yeah, Arteezy got caught out of position again. They managed to kind of re-engage, but they were taking fight 2 versus 4, and then they got wiped again.
It really looked like the wheels were completely coming off for EG at one point. There was a fight before this that Artur literally, it was in the river where Artur literally Omni/TP'd, and the rest of the team tried to go in as 4. It looked at that point like EG were completely out of it mentally.
So when you guys talk about in the middle, it looks bad for EG. It looks like some play that could be punished, and then at the beginning and the end of the match, they look so strong. If LGD can't punish that mid portion of the game, can Secret? When they go against Secret, do you think if they have a mid portion of the game like that, it will be punished?
I wouldn't say that LGD is a worse team than Secret. Just feels like EG was a better team today. LGD, usually their play is on point. I would say the Cripify plus a build on crit with what's it called, Ethereal Blade.
Yeah.
This Terror Blade could not deal damage. They were dragging these fights for so long, using the Healing Ward to heal up, go back in again, and the Terror Blade was forced to use meta, and they were playing well around it. Meta is down, they go back in again.
Yeah, that was the other side of the equation in terms of Artur talking about Ame putting off the BKB. And the other thing is you're seeing in these fights, when EG was getting crushed in these fights, LGD was doing an excellent job of focusing down S4 super early. EG were able to make the adjustment due to the itemization in part, including that Ethereal Blade, to protecting that Pugna a little bit better. And him living through the fight was so important as a sustained source of damage for EG.